Welcome back to another Uninformed Movie Reviews 46.
Wow. Dang, the movie review segment where every word counts.
Yes.
Wait, that's another thing.
No, hang on.
This is a different segment.
I'm confused.
Oh, dang.
Welcome to the podcast, everyone. We have a doozy of an episode. We're excited to bring you another director ranking, and you clicked on it, so you already know what it is.
Yeah, hopefully you're in a comfy spot.
Christopher Nolan.
Also known as the Michael Caine ranking.
The Michael Caine ranking.
But we're actually going to start from the end, right?
Oh, yeah, this is confusing.
So Peepson predicts first. Here we go.
We usually rank from bottom to top, but today we're going to start at 5, and then we're going to hit 6, and then 1.
Yeah.
But you won't know it's 1 until we finish the ranking. Then it'll be revealed.
It'll actually be that it was our number 2, and we're going to show you our 1.
Welcome to the most mind-blowing movie ranking you've ever experienced.
Ever. So we're doing the movies directed by Christopher Nolan. I know in the past sometimes we've done like it has to be written and directed by that guy. Depends. Like we have a caveat for everyone, but Nolan is pretty much like he usually has a hand in the writing. And we're talking about a total of I don't even have the number.
Probably has 2 hands in the writing, really.
Yeah, probably. Sometimes
I would imagine he could probably do it with 1 hand, but
yeah,
probably 2 at least.
Yeah, he's typing. He's not doing it by hand. Let's be clear. Yeah, we got 11 movies, as Frank has stated.
Numbers Daddy TM.
Numbers Daddy TM. I love that.
Mike Tech.
And I guess let me just list them off for you all real quick in order of release. We got Following from 1998.
The Following
Just Following.
There's a Kevin Bacon movie called The Following.
Well, you know what's
coming up.
What's funny is that I was listening to an interview with Nolan, and he was saying like we were going to call it The Following, but we decided to drop the because some guy was asking.
Justin Timberlake was like, drop the. It's much cooler.
It was like they were talking about how almost all of his movies are just one word, other than the Dark Knight trilogy. Except for The Prestige. But anyways, so we got Following 1998, his debut, Memento 2000, Insomnia 2002, Batman Begins 05, The Prestige 06, The Dark Knight 08, Inception 2010, The Dark Knight Rises 2012, Interstellar 2014, Dunkirk 2017, and Tenet 2020. So those are the movies we're talking about today.
I cannot believe that Interstellar came out in 2014. It feels like not that long ago.
It's so crazy.
That was 8 years ago. Oh my gosh.
It's because you're only a 3-dimensional being.
That's true.
Experiencing time, you know what I mean?
If we're 5-dimensional about that, it just came out right now.
True.
And that 8 years is actually only like 4.5 minutes on that one water-covered planet. Because it's all relative, you know what I mean? But yeah, I had the same experience because I watched Interstellar on Blu-ray.
It's fantastic.
And when I opened up the Blu-ray, it had my movie tickets from what I saw with Michelle. And I was like, what? 2014? I couldn't believe it. I felt like I had traveled through time. It's weird, man. It's trippy.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful movie.
Feels so contemporary.
This is going to be fun.
This is going to be an interesting ranking.
This is one of the most anticipated rankings from my own perspective.
I've also been highly anticipating this. I don't think it'll be a contentious episode. I think we might have like an argument or two, but I'm envisioning us all having very different lists. But I mean, we'll see.
What were we going to say?
I'm just going to go off and give like the descriptor, and at least from my point of view, that Nolan is not a perfect being. None of these movies are perfect, but they have gems in it that are great. Like,
he makes great movies.
I would say there's like 2 that are perfect, maybe.
Yes, I'd say there's 2 that are perfect, at least.
To me, Nolan is a bit self-indulgent.
Oh, yeah. Farts and sniffs it.
Yes. Yeah. Like, similar to Tarantino, but in a slightly different style. I was telling Michelle that
nobody has Tarantino's style, like as far as like the way he lives his life. You know what I mean?
When you watch Tarantino, you get the feeling of him saying like, man, I am so cool. And when you watch a Nolan movie, you get the feeling of him saying like, man, I'm such a genius.
Yeah, I'm so smart. Yeah. Oh, you caught that, did you?
Oh, I left that little bread trail there for you. Yeah, it's a little intense, but well, I thought let's announce the our pick for last together at the same time.
Sure.
All at once?
All at once. Let's see what we picked as our bottom. Are you all ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Following.
Tenet.
Oh.
Whoa. Okay, wait. You had Following?
I had Following.
What did you have, Frank?
Tenet.
Tenet, yeah.
I don't disagree.
So should we talk about Tenet then? Are we okay?
Let's talk about Tenet. This is
Also, I had imagined whenever we had like a close enough ranking, I feel like this is going to be the easiest one to make concessions for me.
yeah.
Put it wherever you want. Like a lot of these most of them are good.
Yeah, most of them are good.
Like almost all of them.
I would say with the exception of this movie.
Not good.
But before we get into it all the way, I got a quick summary that I've written for you guys.
okay.
Come on, synopsis,
okay.
Daddy.
This is hard. Tell me what this movie's about.
Frank can hit the numbers. I tried to sum up every movie in about 4 sentences. So here's Tenet. Nolan went full-blown Bond movie. Baby Denzel plays the protagonist. He works for some sort of secret organization. They're trying to stop weapons from the future, but also the past, but also occurring at the same time. Something about nukes, too. You'll pretend to understand it. It's Tenet, everybody.
Dang.
There it is.
Dang.
So you say Baby Denzel. I was thinking more. I had to look it up because I am still going to butcher the name. Chiwetel Ejiofor.
Oh yeah, a Ejiofor or something like that.
Ejiofor?
Yeah.
I saw a lot of resemblance there.
I can see
But
that.
this guy is Denzel Washington's son, right? Am I mistaken?
What?
Isn't he? The main character
No
of Tenet?
way. Really?
I mean, I just saw his last name and I assumed.
Is this real? I'm gonna clickety click.
Yeah. You know what? I should have looked this up. John David
They
Washington.
might not be related because the thing about America is
There's a lot of Washingtons.
slavery.
That's true. You know what? I'm going to be 100% honest. I did not look it up. I was just like, this is probably... Michelle was like, this is Denzel Washington's kid. And I was like, you know what? I agree. I don't think it is, man. I was making every joke about...
They've never even met.
He is the
son of actor Denzel Washington.
What in the heck?
This is
What?
baby Denzel. Because when I was watching the movie, I was like, there's no way this guy got this role on his own merits. This is nepotism for sure.
I'm gonna say I feel like I've seen him in other things, and he's not bad, but it's not lead material.
He ain't no protagonist.
Not yet.
Because I feel like I had never seen this person before in my life.
He's in Black Klansman.
He's the lead of Black Klansman, and I love that.
Didn't even
Yeah.
recognize him. Black Klansman's dope.
Okay, well then how can I just say that he's not lead material when he killed that movie?
Now you look like a fool.
I look like a dang fool. Got egg on my face.
That'll happen.
Numbers, Daddy, you want to kick us off? But before you hit the numbers...
Let the games begin. Tenet released in 2020 has a 7.4 out of 10 on IMDb with a 69% on Rotten Tomatoes with its 150-minute runtime, which is pretty average as far as Nolan
Totally
movies go.
unnecessary though.
Oh my God. Yeah, we'll get into it. Made on a budget of $205 million. Was released in 2020, so had an opening weekend of $9,353,000. $9,353,090 and has currently worldwide grossed $363,656,624.
I guess he's getting close.
I guess.
Wow. You can see why he was being such a baby. He's like, no, put it in theaters.
Yeah, Nolan is one of these guys who's all about the theatrical experience.
Sure.
He's like a big advocate for it, and I get it.
Mm-hmm.
He's also really big on like filming on IMAX cameras, so you want to see it on a screen that'll do that justice, I guess. But this was the movie that was supposed to return people to theaters, which is hilarious because it ends up being like Spider-Man No Way Home almost 2 years later.
I returned and then I returned to watch it again.
Yeah, I went twice too. Beautiful.
Which I never do.
Not these days.
I couldn't even name another movie that I saw twice in theaters.
Not in a long time.
I can't since high school anyway.
No, I think Paranormal Activity was like the last one for me.
Yeah, I think I saw that movie like 3 or 4 times in theaters. That's probably, you're probably right. That might be the last one.
That's like 2007.
Yeah, that's a long time ago, man. Well, what did you guys want to talk about with Tenet, man? I mean,
when we first started talking about this outside of the podcast, David and I were starting our rewatch of Christopher Nolan, and I met up with him and was like, "Did you watch Tenet yet?" And he's like, "Yeah," and I was just like, "What do you think, honestly?" Because I think before now, I had been the only one out of this group to seen it before this ranking, right? I saw this when it came out, and I just remember telling David, like, it seems like Nolan filmed something and reversed it and was just like, I've got a movie.
It's interesting because like the technique is cool.
Sure.
There's a lot of parts of the movie, like there's a fight scene in particular where part of it is going forward and part of it's in reverse, and when you watch I mean, kind of spoilers, but like you see the fight scene from one perspective and then you see it towards the end of the movie from the opposite perspective. And it's just so interesting how that works. And it's something that only works in this medium.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't read the book Tenet and get that idea. You know what I mean? But I mean, it's not a book, but that's kind of
the car chase scene is pretty cool too.
Yeah, I mean, visually it's very interesting.
The action scenes are interesting because of the whole reverse filmography. But we were talking about how like Nolan, he wants you to be like, what? Whoa! Like my mind is totally blown. But in this one, I feel the most cringy about it. Like, dude, get out of here!
It's
like,
very memey.
Like a lot of the big twists I saw coming. And then the technology's cool, but I mean, there's that. I can't think of the song right now, but there's that music video that came out like the early 2000s. The whole thing's in reverse. You know what I mean? Like it's been done before.
Oh yeah, and that's what we also said too. Is just like. Yeah, I don't think that Christopher Nolan knew that there's YouTube channels dedicated to like reverse photography and stuff. Like you don't have to make a movie about it. But sorry.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say the reason I put it at my number 10 is because of the cinematography. Like the efforts of the cinematography was better. It was something to give lauds to, I'd say.
You said number 10, but 11, right?
For me,
he
it
had
was
put it at 10.
Oh, that's right.
10.
You had it 10 because Following was your 11.
Yeah,
okay,
Following.
I'm sorry.
I actually watched today. I watched it out of order, much like the Nolan. I watched everything out of order. I got to the beginning today. Wow, that's really weird.
That's really funny.
That's kind of meta. But Following's we'll talk about it right now. But the only thing I liked about this movie was the cinematography, and I didn't like the sound effects or anything, but that's the bump above Following that it gave.
A little more, I don't know, a little more to chew on, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, in reverse, I gave Following more points because I enjoyed it more, and he did it with way less.
Sure.
With almost nothing.
Yeah, with
$6,000.
Nothing.
Especially as he goes on and his movies become more ambitious with a bigger scope, there's a lot of times where things are quickly explained to the audience and you just got to take it for what it is. And in this movie, they hit it all in like 5 minutes right at the beginning.
Yeah.
Where there's this character who, like Denzel meets them. He's basically like
professor or something. Yeah.
He's a super secret spy. And that's another thing too. Like Nolan is a huge Bond fan. And I feel like you can really feel it in this movie. Like if they made a science fiction James Bond movie, this would be like right in that kind of
it'd be cool
alley.
to see Nolan direct a Bond movie.
Well, I mean, not to get ahead of it, but in Inception, when they get to the snow level, and Tom Hardy's just like riding down the thing on skis, I'm like, okay, so when's Nolan getting a Bond trilogy with Tom Hardy being Bond? Like,
this is No World for Tomorrow. What was it? No Time to Die?
Or No Time to Die.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very similar to that plane thing and No Time to Die. But Nolan would do really well with that. It'd be amazing. And he's British, you know what I mean? But anyway,
there you go.
There's this huge logic dump at the beginning of this movie that is not met in any of his other movies. I mean, Inception's got a lot of explaining, but they do it sparsely throughout and it also kind of makes sense. Like you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I can agree with that. But in this movie, the character literally says, don't try to understand it, feel it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh no.
Oh, that's what you're telling us, huh?
This is the first like 15 minutes of the movie.
He might as well as like winked at the camera while he did it too.
Ting.
You know?
Hey dog, you're not going to understand this.
It feels like he took the criticism from Inception and was just like, oh, there was too many exposition dumps in Inception. And he's just like, oh yeah, well, I'm going to take out all the exposition.
It reminds me of, okay, so there's this South Park episode where they're really going in on Inception. And the whole episode is
I feel like I've seen this.
I don't remember what episode it is. A long time ago now, but and the whole joke that South Park's making is like, oh, it's so cool. And if you don't understand it, you're dumb. Like that's the whole joke. But this feels like that.
Yeah.
I mean, this almost feels like a parody of a Christopher Nolan movie because it's so outlandish. And
it had a hype behind it.
Oh, so much hype.
So much hype.
And oddly enough, I've heard either I hated it or like, oh my God, like Tenet's amazing. Like,
have you heard anyone say that Tenet's amazing?
Yeah, I have several coworkers who are like, oh my God, it's great.
That's weird. That's weird.
So I can't trust those people's opinions anymore.
That's weird. Even when I saw it, like I paid money to watch it at home when it came out, and I was just like, wow, that was really lackluster, man.
and that's why I didn't end up watching it at home, because I wasn't down to spend the $20.
I was like, whatever. I hadn't seen a movie in like forever.
Yeah.
I was like ready to see a movie.
Yeah, there's not a lot of time to let things breathe at the beginning. Oh, you know what this reminds me of though? Which
I mean, through any of the movie, they don't give any plot points time. It had a very similar pacing. I kept thinking about this while I was watching it. It felt like World War Z felt. Like quick action sequence. Oh, now we got to do this. Okay, now we're doing this. Quick action sequence. Okay, now we got to do this. Now we're doing this.
It's like, I'm sorry, who's the nemesis here? Yeah. It's just some guy from the future. Oh,
the antagonist.
Yeah. Who's the antagonist here? Oh, wait, it's himself.
Yes.
But not.
Sometimes it's him, but sometimes it's weird British guy on the
God, at the end when he's like, I'm the protagonist. It's like, ugh.
Oh, yeah. Dude, that was definitely the Nolan Strogoff that like really busted a vessel in my brain.
Yeah.
Like when I found out that he just credited him as the protagonist, I was like, dude, you're not making Following anymore. Like this isn't a student film anymore.
Yeah.
You can't just have a nameless character anymore and name him the protagonist.
Yeah, he gets away with
like in Following, the guy's name is the young man.
The young man, yeah. He does that a couple times.
Doesn't even look that young.
No. He looks a lot like Jake Bonner.
Yeah.
I straight up the entire movie I was just like, this is Jake.
This is Jake, and Jake would have loved to make this movie. Like,
oh yeah.
He'd have been down.
He's probably seen this movie.
Oh, he loves it. I'm sure.
Jake, comment below if you've seen this movie.
Yeah, he's not watching.
Or text me.
I was watching an interview with Quentin Tarantino, and the interview is like some guy asking him, because basically they're setting up the conversation. The interviewer's like, yeah, we saw Dunkirk. We talked about Dunkirk for like hours, and we were really talking about the movie. And Tenet just came out. I know you saw Tenet. I was wondering what your opinion on Tenet was. And Tarantino was like, I'm probably gonna have to watch it again. It was like the nicest way to say like,
darn,
didn't do it for me.
Darn.
Like even Tarantino was like,
that's gonna be a no for me, dog.
Yeah,
you were saying there's a huge exposition dump at the beginning of this movie, but anytime they do try to explain anything throughout the movie, it's just muffled by like tons of effect sounds and just the drone.
And at the end, they're wearing masks.
Yeah. It's like, what are you saying?
Yeah. I can imagine being in, ironically, Nolan wanted everyone to watch this in theaters.
Wearing masks.
But if I wasn't home watching it with the subtitles on, I would have been way more frustrated, I feel like, than actually just, at least I was able to understand the dialogue in the point that like I knew what words they were saying. I still don't understand what's going on. But I don't know. Maybe I'm dumb. Maybe I am.
Yeah. You just don't get it.
Am I dumb? Is Robert Pattinson's American, right?
No, he's British.
He's British?
He's British.
That's why his British accent was so convincing.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
His American accent is really convincing too.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know which one was real and which one wasn't.
Great actor, man.
Yeah.
You know who's another one like that? Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
Straight up thought he was American the
And-
entire time.
And like every superhero ever, like in every like new superhero movie, they're all British. It's crazy. Like
Cumberbatch, right?
Robert Downey Jr. is like the only American left.
Huh.
Oh, Chris Evans is American, I think. He's Captain.
Yeah,
Quite
he is.
American.
He is
Chris
Captain
Pratt.
America.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Chris Pratt. Okay, so there's like 3. Let's calm down.
Ant-Man.
Darn.
Paul Rudd's British.
No. No, I just saw him in an episode of Reno 911. He's very American.
It's hilarious. Man, is there anything else? I mean, I got to throw this in here. The movie starts off with this a terrorist attack at these people at like a symphony.
Yeah.
Oh, how'd you feel about that cello getting crushed?
I was about to say, man, they throw an upright bass and they basically curb stomp a cello right at the beginning of this movie.
I'm like, why?
And
the only thing keeping from that technically being a curb stomp was the lack of curb.
Yeah.
And teeth.
Yeah. If there was a little like, which would be weird on a stage, but like little cement curb. Yeah, it was terrible. And I was thinking like, man, if this movie was good, maybe I could give it a pass. But to think that I had to watch all of Tenet and also at the same time see these poor instruments destroyed is almost unforgivable. I almost quit out.
Unforgivable.
Yeah. Yeah, this was definitely one halfway through. I was like, God, how much more of this movie do we
and
have?
So much more.
I feel like the big whoa moments, I saw them all coming, like as they reveal them the first time.
They were all in the trailer, by the way.
Oh, really?
All the whoa moments were in the trailer.
I don't even remember seeing the trailer for Tenet when it was coming out.
I don't think I ever watched it.
Yeah. I still haven't seen the trailer
I was
for this
at home
movie.
playing Animal Crossing when that trailer was on the
Yeah,
internet.
there you go.
That's all that was happening.
The only part that made me go, whoa, was the very first one where the bullet comes out like in the theater. I was like, wait, what happened there?
Which is funny because that was like Nolan's big thing. Like he says, like, I was intrigued with the idea of the bullet coming out of the wall back into the gun. and that's where I kind of started.
And then I wrote a movie around it.
Yeah, I mean, some of his better movies, not all of them, but a lot of them are written with his brother, and I think like his brother really was needed on this project.
He was doing Westworld.
This one is written just by Nolan, and like that doesn't happen a lot, and it's kind of like
oh, that's why.
It's crazy because Jonathan Nolan did the first 2 incredible like seasons of Westworld, and now it is really just I don't even know where that show is now. I don't even know if he's really on it. So maybe he's needed back there too. But I totally agree with Tenet at the bottom. That's fine. It's fine with me, to be honest.
Well, I guess let's keep going. Frank, what was your number 10?
I actually have Following as my number 10.
Hey.
My number 10 is Following also.
Nice. All right.
2 for 2 right now. Well, okay, let me get Following pulled up. Also, I watched this one last as well.
Did you watch it today?
No, I watched it last night.
Ah, yeah.
It's nice because it's so short, but Frank will hit that right now.
It is quite short.
I was like, ooh, what, 110 minutes or something?
Something like that.
It's even shorter, bro.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's like
69 minutes.
Nice.
Yeah. A nice tight 69.
The best part.
kind of 69.
All right, so Following. A young man becomes obsessed with the idea of following, shadowing ordinary people with the hopes of finding inspiration as a fledgling writer. When he meets Cobb, a sharp and sophisticated thief, he finds a new, more dangerous hobby. Layered with deception, Following is an ambitious, low-budget debut film.
Yeah.
Ambitious is a good word for it.
Yeah, I think that he's trying to do a lot.
Yeah. And for someone that filmed it on the weekends...
Yeah, like 15 minutes at a time or something is like how the story goes.
Because all the actors had like constraining schedules.
Well, they all had like full-time jobs because no one was making money off this.
And he was funding it himself and stuff too.
Yeah.
I mean, hats off to him for doing it. It's a decent first film. It is not Praying with Anger.
Wow. Shout out to M. Night Shyamalan.
All right. Before we get any deeper, Following, released in 1998. It's a 7.5 out of 10 on IMDb and 81% on Rotten Tomatoes. Made on a budget of $6,000. $6,000.
Yeah.
Worldwide gross at this point, $48,482.
If I'm not incorrect, that's even less of a budget than Paranormal Activity, right?
I think it was $10K.
Yeah.
I think it's the lowest budget we've ever had. It's actually one of the lowest budget theatrical release movies.
And it was in
ever.
theaters.
I think probably
maybe like
select
Sundance
theaters.
stuff.
It was like at 2 theaters.
Huh.
Yeah, I couldn't find any opening weekend numbers, so it wasn't like a wide release.
No way.
I had never heard of this movie before we figured out about ranking.
Same.
Yeah, I picked it up at when I was at working at FYE. It had come in one day like a used copy, and I was like, Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, right.
And I was like, all right. It was like $4. I was like, sure, I'll buy it.
Take a risk on $4.
It's funny because it reminds me a lot of Pi, Darren Aronofsky's
That's exactly
first
what
movie.
I was just like, why are they in black and white?
It's in black and white because they're like David Lynch fans and they're trying to do like Eraserhead or something. And then they're both very wordy, but unfortunately the cast isn't. They're not. What's the word I'm looking for? They don't have the presence.
They don't have the je ne sais quoi. They really don't.
Yeah, like for a movie to have so much dialogue, even if the dialogue's pretty good, you need the actors to carry that.
I feel like the best one is Cobb in the movie. The entire.
Oh yeah, Cobb's pretty solid.
It's the best one in the entire movie.
And
Cobb, what's her face?
Yeah,
and then the young
main
man.
guy.
Yeah,
and the protagonist.
Yeah. The protagonist is the worst of the bunch easily.
Ooh, so this was a first time watch for both of y'all.
Yeah.
What did you all think about the twist? The prestige, if you would.
I didn't see it coming. Like I knew they were up to something. Well, no, yeah, you could
saw it coming,
you could see like they're obviously trying to set this guy up for something. I didn't expect her to be on it. Yeah. That surprised me a little bit. But yeah, overall, I really enjoyed it.
You know, it felt a lot like Inception in a way. But it was interesting to like see all the Nolanisms in their baby stage.
Yeah.
And like seeing what would come to fruition later. Like I could definitely see what like would come out later. You know what I mean? You could see it like watching it. But it's so unhashed out and it's so of the times because it's so like Cobb is this Tyler Durden, doesn't do anything. You know what I mean?
I like how he's this like philosophical burglar.
Everyone's got a box.
Yeah.
Everyone, you know what I mean?
Well, it's one thing to take away something from somebody, to have them think about what they have. I'm like, You're just robbing people.
I was just like, what are you, Saw? What is this?
Yeah, that is a little like
it's very Jigsaw-y.
little snooty. Well, of things to come, like you're talking about baby Nolanisms. The funny part is like, so the writer character who is shadowing this thief, and then Cobb is teaching him how to be a burglar. The writer gets a job from him to scope out a place for their next target, for their next hit. And without telling him, he sends this guy, like they go to his apartment, to the writer's apartment.
Did you guys catch the Batman symbol on his door?
Yes, man.
Yeah.
There's a Batman
Saw
decal on his door. And it's like, dude, to think that you would be directing
Crazy.
Batman like 7 years later-ish, like
It's kind of cool.
insane,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah,
Was it planted there from the future? I'm just kidding.
It's running in 2 timelines. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the first time I had watched the movie rankings in chronological order, and I did it because I wanted to see like the progression. You know what I mean?
Ironically, you picked one of the guys who's like the most non-linear.
Yeah.
To watch
I must have
movies in
felt
order.
it through the universe. Like it's like I'm gonna go the other way with
Someone
this.
must have told you through gravity to do it that way or something.
But yeah, it was really cool to see like the very first time the young man has a cut and then the next scene he doesn't. I was like, oh, you were already doing this. How fun. With your first movie, you already decided to go non-linear with it. And he gets better at it.
It's not a terrible movie. What is it with these like ambitious directors with their first film just putting themselves in the movie, man? Like this is definitely, the young man is definitely supposed to be like the writer.
I think
That's who I am.
It's this, and this is also a movie written by him,
Yeah.
just him. And I think it's one of those scenarios of like, you write what you know.
Write what you know.
You know what I mean? You got to figure
Praying
something
with
out.
anger, definitely.
Did you guys catch the clock that, like, so he's going through the stuff that he stole from the lady's apartment. He's putting it on the table, and he pulls out a little clock and puts it on the table. It's the same clock from Memento.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that he's like tells that lady of the evening to set up the things in the room like it's her stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah, it is the exact same clock, which I thought was really funny.
Did not catch that.
Yeah, and also it's funny that we have these 2 movies back to back, but the young man in this movie comes back in Tenet, the actor.
What?
And
no way.
He's the snooty waiter when
Dude, I was trying to figure out why he looked so familiar.
No
when he's like,
way.
"Can you wrap this up to go?" And he's like, "We don't do to go or whatever."
He says like, certainly not.
Yeah, certainly not. That's him, same guy.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
I didn't catch that.
How
you know
funny.
what? I missed one little note about Tenet. I got to say it right now.
He
So
barely looks older in Tenet than he does in the following.
yeah, he
And
does.
follow-up.
Well, he got a haircut. He dressed himself up nice. Baby Denzel in, he's supposed to be portraying like a rich person, like a esteemed guy in Tenet. He straight up says espresso to one of the waiters. He says, "Yeah, can I get an espresso?" I'm like, "Come on, man."
That might be Ebonics.
But it's like that's not the way you're supposed to be talking right now.
No, not in. That's
Give
like
me-
asking for ranch.
And how,
like,
yeah, how did no one catch it? Oh, it's actually espresso. Espresso. What a hack.
Maybe
Get
it
outta
was
here.
intentional.
maybe.
Because just before Michael Caine was telling him like, hey, if you're trying to be a billionaire, you need to get out of this Brooks Brothers suit, get yourself a fine tailored suit.
Get out of that Men's Warehouse.
But I like the way I look. He guaranteed it.
Guaranteed it, though. He guaranteed it. Interesting that this movie's in 4:3, but I guess like aspect ratio wise,
Yeah.
it's like a perma full screen. You guys streamed it, right?
Yeah.
It was in the
Yes.
little square, right? It wasn't
Yeah.
stretched.
No.
No,
it
it
was
was
in
the
a square.
It
I
looked
wanted to
really
make sure.
bad.
Had a
Yeah.
lot of extra screen.
Yeah.
Man, every time I pull out the movies to show them, I always do a terrible job of actually pulling them out. So there's follow.
Oh, you got there eventually.
There's
Your
follow.
pullout game is getting better with each
Yeah,
try.
I'm working on it, but
This one's like less of a snoozer than Tenet, and that's saying something for sure. Like,
yeah, it really is. It really is. Like that you could have this giant multi-million-dollar movie and it's way less interesting than this $6,000 film with 4 people in it.
if this movie was made and polished a little better today with like real actors, could have a real thing.
You had like
Could have been done right.
Had like Cillian Murphy be the young man.
Yeah. You can have that lady from The Dark Knight Rises, oh my gosh.
Anne Hathaway.
No. What's the villain's name again? Ra's al Ghul.
Oh,
Talia al Ghul.
Yeah.
Have her be that.
Spoiler alert. Oh my god.
Oh gosh.
No, I'm just joking.
I had to do a little bit of math on it, and hopefully I did the calculations right, because apparently I can't even use a calculator correctly.
True.
The budget for Following is 34,167 times less than Tenet.
Wow.
Just to put it into perspective.
That's like some Jeff Bezos numbers.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
God.
Like his wages versus his workers.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was all right.
Yeah, it was okay.
I'll never watch Following again.
You know,
I actually am looking forward to a second watch.
it was my second time watching it, and I was like, yeah, it's pretty good. Although Michelle had the same thing as saying, like, yeah, it was all right. Okay, I'm done.
Yeah, I'm
Like, okay.
I did it.
I mean, baby's first day out, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah.
Not going to knock it out of the park.
Well, Danny, why don't you give us your number 9?
I feel like this one's gonna get some ire.
Get out of here.
I think this is where we're gonna start, because I feel like everyone's lists are gonna shift from here. My number 9 is Dunkirk.
Shut your mouth. No, I'm joking. I don't know if I can abide that, man.
That's so funny. I was going to say the opposite of what David's saying right now. It's not what I had, but I could shift it.
You could put it down.
Yeah, 'cause
Okay, so
I'm-
Dunkirk's kind of low for you.
I'm one off.
Okay.
I had Dunkirk
Oh
at
my
8.
god.
Yeah.
Okay, I got to fight for the 8 spot at least for Dunkirk.
I could do that. What's your?
It's not even close to being my favorite World War II
No.
movie.
Dunkirk's
No.
my 3.
Oh,
Whoa.
that's crazy.
That's crazy
It's
to think
number.
of.
Yeah, Dunkirk is so high up there for me.
I was honestly thinking that you would probably like that movie more. This is your first time watching it, right?
Never seen Dunkirk
Okay.
before.
This is my second time watching it.
I watched it 6 times.
Are we going to talk about Dunkirk?
No, please no. I can't have
Okay, you can't.
Dunk-
Well, what is it?
Okay, so what's your 9?
Insomnia.
Oh, wow. No, I couldn't put Insomnia though.
No.
Insomnia is so like, okay, well, it's over.
Oh, that's not how I felt about it at all.
Oh, no, this
the
is
whole
where it
time
happens.
I was like, oh my god,
this is cool, yeah, like-
how did I not know about this movie?
I know this was my first time watching Insomnia too, and this was not your first time
No,
watching
it was my
Insomnia.
first time.
It was?
I
Okay.
was like, this movie's okay.
Well, should I tell you guys what my 9 is?
Well, why not?
Like, because we've already gone over there in the tail. I have Batman Begins for 9.
Oh, not me.
And I knew you guys weren't going to be close on Batman Begins.
I could do Batman Begins.
Yeah.
I also
dude.
could do Batman Begins because it's not my favorite Nolan movie.
Okay.
So Batman Begins for 9?
Yeah, we can
Shall
do
we?
that. Dang, that's saying something when it's below. Like Memento.
Wow. Okay. Wow. All right.
Damn, this is really exciting. So far, my list is correct.
I mean, I would definitely rather watch Dunkirk than Batman Begins if it was a choice
same.
of the two.
Same. Whenever I get into a tough spot on these rankings, I'm like, well, which one am I more excited about to watch again?
Yeah.
I would largely agree.
Dunkirk is all right, so we're not talking
Okay,
about
yeah,
Dunkirk.
we're talking
about Batman Begins.
Batman Begins, which is actually where I began my my watch.
I like what you did there, David.
We started with the Batman
You
trilogy.
started
in this
with
house.
that. Okay.
Have you ever wondered how Batman begins? Other than the dead parent stuff, obviously. See Bruce Wayne become a ninja, fight a scarecrow, and keep the Gothamites safe from spooky, crazy water vapor.
David, that might be my favorite synopsis you've ever done.
That is a great synopsis.
Thank
Like you could have done it in the "Have you ever wondered" voice.
I was thinking about going hard with it. Have you ever wondered
Yeah.
how Batman begins? Nah, I didn't want to hit it that hard.
It's I mean, this is a good movie, and it's definitely the start of one of the best comic book series, trilogies ever made, movies ever made. I do think, though, what's original about it, obviously, is you get to see like Batman's psychological descent into madness as he starts becoming the Batman.
Yeah.
But I do have hope that the Matt Reeves Batman that's coming out is going to do it better.
You know, I am excited for that movie. I'm really liking me some Robert Pattinson, but the only thing is that they're showing way too much. Like the other day I was on YouTube and they're like, here's a 4-minute scene.
Oh,
from the
they
new
showed a
Batman
4-minute
movie.
scene?
Yeah.
I didn't know
and
that.
then it's like, here's another teaser spot. Here's this 15th trailer. And I'm like,
just put out the movie and I'll
You're
go
hyping
watch
out.
it.
well, when you're putting out that much of your movie online, I'm like, I don't know if you guys have something worth watching.
The faith is gone.
They like need you to buy that ticket because once opening weekend's over, maybe you're going to be in trouble. I don't know. I
No,
could
they
be wrong.
probably realized they're done. They edited it and they were like, we really should have put nipples on this costume, guys. I think we really messed up not doing the nipples.
We'll see. I'm excited about the cast and I really like the tone so far, but
Robert Pattinson is becoming one of my favorite actors.
Yeah.
He's actually up there now.
I mean, Danny's always loved the Twilight Saga, so
I have.
this is a big...
True.
Also love me some Cedric Diggory.
He doesn't do it on when we're recording because it'll mess with the lighting and stuff, but he's usually covered in glitter.
Yeah.
I'm always glittery.
Yeah. But that's just because of his other job.
Speaking of numbers.
Perfect.
I'm a bouncer.
Batman Begins, 8.2 out of 10 on IMDb, and 84% on Rotten Tomatoes with its 140-minute runtime. Made on a budget of $150 million. Have an opening weekend of $48,745,440 with a worldwide gross of $373,661,946.
I remember seeing this movie in middle school. I think I was in 8th grade.
Shoot, dude, right?
Yeah. It was great then, and it's fine now.
It's a good movie. You know,
I wouldn't say great. I find Batman Begins a little boring.
You know, I understand what you're saying, but I just don't agree with it. It's just like...
Well, it also doesn't help that I don't care. I not even don't care about Batman. I have a active dislike towards Batman.
And, you know, this is the first instance of Scarecrow being on screen, too.
Yeah.
And it's done right.
And, well, the cool thing is, and it's like Nolan's whole point of the trilogy is, let's make a completely grounded, real-world, crime-filled Gotham, and then add just one supernatural element, and that's like Batman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which, for the most part, is probably one of the most grounded superheroes.
Yeah.
As opposed to, like, the Punisher, you know what I mean? Who's just shooting people. Like Batman, there's a little more of like, okay, I got to believe that this guy can make all these gadgets and also use them and not die. And like, you know,
I think what went into my choice for this movie too is that it's I have more respect for it as it comes to the whole of the Dark Knight series, and that it is like essentially like the flag, you know, it's like the flagpole series part of like what DC thrives to be. Like, this is DC's vision.
It's interesting because it kind of spoiled DC.
Yeah.
Because then they tried to make Superman like Batman. They were like, let's make a Nolan-esque Superman movie.
Which he was producing.
They forgot.
Yeah.
They forgot one key thing though, that Superman's even lamer than Batman.
You know what? I like Man of Steel. I'm going to go out there and say it. I like Man of Steel.
I hate that movie, but you know, I just think they're just so tonally different. That's the big thing. You can't make Superman like you would Batman because they're not the same.
No, I mean, it's like even just the characters as a whole, like Bruce Wayne is this, like, he's a city boy, like he's a wealthy city boy versus like corn-fed, like
alien
is secretly an alien. Superman.
Okay, a big complaint I do have.
Complain away, David.
Is all of Rachel's dialogue. I put in my notes fortune cookie Rachel. Everything she says.
Yeah.
Were you like, all right, let's bring in Maggie Gyllenhaal. Come on, let's go.
I was though. I mean, I don't like Katie Holmes.
Which is something you never ask for. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't even like Maggie Gyllenhaal.
I love Maggie Gyllenhaal, but I mean, Katie Holmes is. I don't like her first of all, but then secondly, every bit of dialogue just sounded like, here's like forlorn wisdom for you. I'm like, what? Who wrote this?
She's like a whimsical
Yeah.
part of the story that doesn't even need to be there, really.
Yeah, but I love just how much foundation is set.
Yeah.
You know, like
in the bigger picture.
It's a great origin story movie where I feel like, you know, we've seen a bunch of movies that don't do it that great.
You gotta respect it for what it is. I mean, it is probably the quintessential Batman trilogy. Like this is
it is.
Probably, I think they're the best Batman movies ever made.
I would say it's the best series of superhero movies ever.
I mean, like I should go and clarify. Like I dislike Batman. Don't care about superheroes. I like these movies. I like this trilogy. They're solid movies for the most part.
I think that's what he was aiming for, was trying to get it to a wider audience.
I mean, he got me.
I mean,
especially those last two.
You can watch them and not even care about Batman or know anything about Batman and be like, dang, this Dark Knight movie is pretty great.
Yeah. You know, another thing I'm not crazy about in this movie is some of the action is shot so close. And I guess it's supposed to make you feel like, but it just feels like a cop out in some choreography, especially a scene that comes to mind is when Batman is fighting off all those ninjas, when he's like betraying the
Al Ghul,
the League of Shadows. Yeah. I wish there was some wider shots where we got some really cool choreography. I've been watching Daredevil,
That's
one?
good fight choreography right there.
The show is
Netflix
so
one.
good, man.
And there's this scene towards, I think it's second episode, but I mean, it's clearly just ripping off Old Boy. It's like Daredevil shows up and there's this long one cut
In a
hallway
hall.
scene where he's just beating all these people up. And it is just Old Boy, but it was like, that's what I needed in this Batman movie. I needed to see like a little more physicality where everything is just so close and all you see are like fists and
It's
then
quick
suddenly it's done. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the same thing happens later when there's like a dock scene where he's first using the fear tactic on him. And when he does fight people, there's a part where he gets surrounded and you just see him like capes flying and everything. I'm like, man, I wish I could see what's happening, but I can't.
You know, if you're really into that kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Like the fight choreography, you're really going to like Shang-Chi, dude.
I need to watch Shang-Chi.
Gotta watch it.
That's what I keep hearing. I'll get
watch it.
round to it one day.
But I agree with you. Yeah, I think it's of the time too, man. I mean, like, look at something like what's quick cut fight scenes like that. Like, I mean, 300 came out around the same time.
Yeah. And there's a lot of 300 where you just see the stabbing motion.
Yeah.
Although I gotta watch 300 again. I mean, Zack Snyder movie ranking coming next.
That's cool. That's a lot of movies, right? I think it's well, that means you guys have to watch the Justice League.
Yeah, it's a lot of DC movies I don't want to watch.
You have to watch the 4-hour cut of the Justice League.
Yeah, I'm out. I'm good.
No, it's payback for Serenity.
Can we stop at Watchmen? Is that possible? We'll just do the first 5 Zack Snyder movies.
I love that movie so much.
Finally got around to watching Watchmen.
No,
amazing, right?
Good stuff.
Amazing.
Pretty good.
You should honestly watch the HBO series.
Watch the whole thing, dude.
That's what you're talking about.
I ate it like I consumed it like a depressed person would eat a whole pizza by themselves.
So now you know about
Lube.
I
was just like,
now you know about Lube Man,
dude. That I still and maybe once a day think about Lube Man.
What is Lube Man?
Yeah.
Isn't it amazing?
Just
though?
the way he just slides into it. Oh my god, dude! I have so many questions,
dude. But that is the most perfect ending of almost any show I can think of.
It's fantastic, man.
I'm just
really good,
amazing.
You know, now you just got to read the book and feel. Because the book, I mean,
book is amazing.
It's better than the movie.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's better than anything.
Although the movie is great. Well,
the show is very close. Anyways, sorry, we are way off.
We're way off, but yeah, Batman Begins.
Way off, but good. On brand.
Good. Okay, so I guess that's back to me, and so we're
number
at
8.
So Batman's our number 9.
Yes.
Okay, right?
Yeah. So to be fair, my 8 was Batman Begins.
Okay.
Insomnia was my 9, but it sounds like you're not gonna let me get away with Insomnia next.
I was actually already thinking like diplomatic style because I had Dunkirk in this spot.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Way too high.
We have Dunkirk down
like,
there.
I want to meet you somewhere in the middle for like Insomnia and Dunkirk. We could like shift them both somewhere. But I'm still not comfortable.
Wait, so
putting
how
Insomnia
high? Where's Insomnia for you?
Spoiler alert: I have it at 5. So I'm still
Where's
a
your
good bit
Insomnia?
away.
It's at 7 for me.
Oh, okay. I'm getting
closer for Danny.
I'm getting closer.
Here's the thing. I would rather watch Insomnia again than ever watch Dunkirk again. It's my second time watching Dunkirk. I gave it the shot. I almost fell asleep like both times.
I forgot to put Batman Begins out.
I edit it in post.
Honestly, like Insomnia is just it's okay.
It's
like,
not a Nolan film.
Well, it's not written by him at all, which is
Exactly.
one huge thing. But it's
Okay. We can't talk about it more unless we're putting it there.
All
right, let's go ahead and put it there. Let's go ahead and put it
So number 8.
No. Hold on. He's trying to
get you down
sleep
there.
in there. He's trying to slip in.
I was Looney Tuning.
Okay,
So we got to figure out what we're putting it.
Can I pitch something then?
Yeah.
Okay.
How would you all feel about Memento?
Memento's my number 8.
I'm closer on Memento.
Memento
and
is 7 for
this
me.
is honestly a part of the list that I had a lot of trouble with, like this middle section. Like, oh god, I was bouncing around so much. I'm cool with Memento in this spot.
At number 8?
Yeah.
That sounds good to me.
All right. Well, Leonard, a man with short-term memory loss, hunts for his wife's killer. We follow 2 sides of the narrative coin, one running forwards and the other in reverse. It's an old-school noir detective film meets a jigsaw puzzle.
I saw this movie too late in my life. Like, you know what I mean?
Whoa, you're like 100% right. If I was like 15, I'd have been like,
this is a mind-blowing movie. Whoa. Don't get me wrong. This movie deserves the praise that it gets. Mm-hmm. Some people claim this is like his best movie.
I saw that a lot too.
And I'm just like, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah.
It is a pretentious jerk fest, but it's also like, if you've seen, and I got into like Christopher Nolan like after the first Batman, so I would say like 2005-ish, then I figured out who Christopher Nolan was. I didn't know anything about it back then. But if you've seen a Christopher Nolan film and then you go back and watch Memento, you're just like, oh, well, I figured this out already. I know. Like by the 30-minute mark, I was like, all right, I know exactly what's going on.
I can get that.
Yeah, but I did see Memento like in high school for the first time.
And I bet it was sick.
Yeah, it was dope. I remember being like, what? And then it had been so long. This rewatch for this ranking was my second watch. Like I hadn't watched it since then, so it was long enough for me to forget the twist at the end. And that was pretty fun. It was pretty nice. Yeah. I'm glad I hadn't watched it again. Memento released in the year 2000, the year the computers took over the world because we forgot a zero somewhere or something. 8.4 out of 10 on IMDb and 93% on Rotten Tomatoes with a 113-minute runtime. Made on a budget of $9 million, opening weekend of $235,488, and is currently worldwide grossed $40,047,078.
All right.
Good for him.
That's pretty nice. You know,
and the biggest part of the budget was just them getting charged for multiple rooms because the good old Elvis working the front desk was being a little shisty.
How messed
good
up.
old Bobby Elvis.
You know, this movie is like considered Criterion by most people.
Huh.
Like,
you know what? I should have looked this up. I saw it yesterday and I meant to look it up, but as far as Criterion Collection goes, The Following is Criterion Collection.
What? Are you following or The Following?
Following. And I don't know.
Why is that Criterion?
Well, the Criterion Collection is supposed to be primarily about movies that kind of changed filmmaking in a way.
Okay. I feel like Memento is more.
Yeah, arguably, but I guess it's still his idea. Yeah, you know what? Following is Christopher Nolan's only film in the Criterion Collection.
I highly disagree with that. That's weird.
Weird, yeah.
It is a weird one, but I'll probably end up picking up that Blu-ray. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, Memento, if you haven't seen it, he's got that short-term memory loss. It's only a few minutes. He forgets everything that's happened recently up until when his wife got killed. And he has these Polaroid that he takes pictures of, and then he writes notes on the back. And that's how he reminds himself. He reaches in his pocket, pulls out Polaroids, and then reads what's on the back. And that's how he kind of keeps up with it.
Oh, this guy's so-and-so. Oh, this one's my car.
Yeah.
And he tattoos stuff on himself, too.
Yeah, real important stuff.
And the facts he tattoos. Yeah, the big, hard facts. But the Polaroid is horribly inefficient. Like, you can barely even write anything on there. And a lot of the confusion that he went under, if he just had a slightly bigger photograph, you know, instead of being able to write 9 words on it, like if he could have just pontificated a bit more, he probably would have got himself out of some sticky situations.
Well, you know, knowing the way it ends, it's probably intentional. You know what I mean? He doesn't want the whole picture. He wants like that part shrouded in mystery. He doesn't want to get
that.
Even when he does have the final answer in front of him, he's like, nah, I'm going to keep looking for the killer.
I'm going to hang out in my own reality instead.
Yeah. You know what? Don't even worry about it. In 5 minutes, I'm going to totally forget.
This, is
this 50 First Dates?
A couple of director trademarks that I think show up in this movie. One that we could have talked about in the first one. All of his movies are about loss to a certain degree. Mm-hmm. Like all of them. They're
even
like
Batman.
Huge stories of like traumatic loss. And we got a lot of narrated flashbacks. And what I mean by this is it's silent footage of a flashback that is placed over a guy like telling a story. And he does this so much. Like he does it in Tenet. He does it a bunch in the Batmans.
Interstellar, I think
Interstellar, in Inception, it happens all the time when he's talking about his wife. Like he loves doing this.
The Prestige, he does it in
Prestige,
Yep.
yeah. Kind of crazy, and also another one he loves because he loves the twist. He loves clearly stating the twist at the beginning.
Yeah,
like flat out telling you in some clever dialogue. And this is one where like once you watch it the second time, you're like,
this is why it's down on the list for me because much like You're gonna hate me for saying this.
I already hate you. It's
Much like he's gonna hate me for saying this.
Oh, we'll both hate you.
Much like The Sixth Sense, the rewatch value on this is not high for me. Because you can kind of figure out some things here and there after that, but then it's just like I already know everything. I don't want to watch it again.
Don't worry, I'm gonna clip the audio. Put "This is asinine" in there for you.
Thank you. Yeah. Sixth Sense is dope. Though.
It is. It's like, a way better movie.
Little kid, and he's like, "You want to see where my dad hides my shotgun?" I mean,
yeah, the movie's amazing.
When he gets locked
and
in that thing at the
I
party,
want to see that shotgun. Show me,
dude. That intro scene to The Sixth Sense is amazing.
Yeah. Memento is a little annoying.
It's very annoying.
I'll say it.
Yeah.
I was over it.
Yes.
At a certain point, I was like, man, if he goes back for another flashback and I gotta watch another 5 minutes of this movie and then go back to him talking about this story, like, I am so done with this.
You know what? That's super fair. I was going to say, I don't think I was ever over, but yeah, towards like the last maybe quarter of the movie, I was like, all right, are we going to...
It's a bit tedious.
Are we going to get to the reveal already? Like,
I was hitting the Dave Chappelle, like, wrap
it up, dog. You got to wrap it up. Like, straight up. It's, it's the tediousness of it that makes me not want to watch it again.
Yeah.
I was already on this one. I was just like, oh my God.
You know what? I love Carrie-Anne Moss in it.
Yeah.
Carrie-Anne Moss is a lot of fun. She's got a great character.
She's definitely got more chemistry with Guy Pearce than she does with Keanu Reeves.
Well, that's because Keanu Reeves is a bag of clay. You know what I mean? There's like nothing going on in there.
That's why he's so good at fighting.
Yeah. It's taking the hits. Michelle and I have this running gag about, like, what does Guy Pearce look like? Like
can you recall what he looks like
every time we see him on screen? Like, is this Guy Pearce? And I must have hit it 6 or 7
Gary
times.
Oldman.
Yeah, is that Gary Oldman? But in this case, it's just like, instead of Gary Oldman just shape shifting, in this case, it's like, what does Guy Pearce look like?
Describe Guy Pearce right now. I bet you can.
Try it.
Yeah.
Well, he's a white guy who.
He's got a white guy face. Did you know that Guy Pearce is married to the Melisandre from Game of Thrones, the Red Witch?
Wow.
Crazy, right?
Way to go, Guy Pearce.
I know, right?
Hey, man.
Pretty hot.
As long as she doesn't take the necklace off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta keep that thing
Big diff. Big old diff there.
Well, speaking of diffs, Frank, why don't you hit us with what your number, whatever the next one is?
It would be
7, but what are we doing?
It would be Dunkirk.
Yeah, I guess we're going to start
right?
figuring out what we're going to do with Dunkirk and Insomnia.
I'm adamant that I cannot put...
Well, I actually still have, like, because you guys know Dunkirk's my number 8. Insomnia I have at 5. So I still have, like, another movie that I had
Out of curiosity,
Dunkirk
lower.
was my 9.
What is your next movie? Just out of curiosity.
My next movie is Inception.
Oh, God.
That, like, we haven't discussed at all.
Oh, God. I mean, it's a travesty, but we'll do Dunkirk. And I'll just tell you guys why you're wrong. Let's do that.
Okay.
I'm used to that.
Yeah.
Oh, so business as usual.
Yeah. That makes sense to me.
Okay.
And I could leave it there.
Look.
So Dunkirk's is 7 now, correct?
7.
All right.
Give us that synopsis.
What a crime. Okay, Dunkirk. Where's it at?
Now you Dunkirked.
A World War II movie based on England's retreat across the Channel. We follow a handful of soldiers struggling to survive, filled with character, heart, and Harry Styles. Dunkirk hits a little-known story from the Second World War with surprisingly little Nazi screen time. Very few Nazis in this movie for a World War II movie.
I also
Just in
feel
planes.
like, well, this might just be because, like, I'm sitting in a room with at least 2 World War II buffs. I know you're like at least into World War II. You know some things.
I love it.
I don't feel like Dunkirk's that, like, it's not even the only movie about Dunkirk titled Dunkirk.
Yeah, you might be right. And when I was writing this out too, I was thinking, like, it's little known in the sense that as Americans, we don't ever really learn about it.
Because we weren't there. Who cares?
Yeah, when you hit the World War II lesson, this part's not. But I bet in England they teach the heck out of Dunkirk.
Sure.
And that's what gave me respect for this movie is because he's British. It's like, okay, this is a big deal to the Brits and stuff.
I like the telling of Dunkirk more in The Master. And it's just like the beginning of the movie.
I haven't seen The Master.
Wow. Way more entertaining.
Yeah,
that first chunk of The Master.
I feel like I've seen that
is
Master.
way more entertaining to me than Dunkirk is.
You know, can I tell you what my problems are with it first?
Frank hit the numbers and you tell me your problems.
Okay.
Here we go. Dunkirk, released in 2017, has a 7.8 out of 10 on IMDb, a 92% on Rotten Tomatoes, and it has a runtime time of 166 minutes, made on a budget of $100 million.
Wow.
Yeah, but you didn't think you were going to hear an Austin Powers reference, did you? Had an opening weekend of $50,513,488. It's currently worldwide gross $527 million.
Dang.
$16,307. That's a lot of dollars.
You know
Chunk
what?
of change.
I'm just going to say this. If you've got a big budget World War II movie, it doesn't matter how bad it is. It's going to make money.
I guess that's true.
People are going to go see it.
Hacksaw Ridge. Did people watch that movie?
I don't know. Let's see. I certainly didn't. No, I did actually. I just forgot about it.
Yeah. I feel like World War II movies gone. It's like the zombie video game. There was a lull where we didn't get as many.
Yeah.
For a while, they were just hitting them, and they were like, oh, let's back off a little bit.
In the middle, we got a World War I movie, and it was like, oh, crap.
In 1917?
Yeah.
You know, I don't like that movie much either.
Oh, dang.
It's good. I just don't like it that much.
I think it's amazing.
Yeah, I love 1917.
It's like, holy
man.
cow.
Yeah.
I like it better than Dunkirk, that's
Maybe
for
you
sure.
just don't like British people. Have you thought about that?
That could be. I don't really like British people.
Fair. I mean, they came in, tried to like tax us to cover their costs.
They've
of,
done
like,
some stuff.
defending us in a war, you know what I mean? It's super uncalled for. Who needs it?
Now we just do it to our own people.
Ugh.
Things I like about Dunkirk. Really cool pacing.
Yeah, man.
But I mean, the soundtrack, I love when the soundtrack kicks off in this movie because it's kind of like within the first, I want to say like 7 minutes, maybe like 10 minutes of the movie. And then things start going into motion and you start hearing the ticking, and it's like keeping the pacing of the movie, which kind of goes over and over and over. And it's pretty awesome. I love the soundtrack and how it lines up.
I hate Hans Zimmer. Like, I'm usually dogging on him.
I like Hans Zimmer.
I think he's kind of just like placeholder, but I love the score in this movie. Man.
Yeah, the score is great.
It was big ups for the island and for my ranking of this
Weird
movie.
flashback to our last episode, the boy band that Ed Helms is in The Goods Live Hard, Sell Hard. The band name is Big Ups.
Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah. Good score, man.
I think my problem is just that it is. There's parts where it drags a bit. I feel like. Another thing I like about it is it does tell a story that not many people know, and you get to see the conflict between like the English and the French a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like how.
I mean, how are you going to be with the French and not have conflict?
Everybody hates French.
Yeah. They're America's first friend. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I don't think this movie's boring. I think if anything,
No, I don't even think it was boring.
the pacing's pretty lit. At first I was like, does this need to be nonlinear? But then it
doesn't.
is because the pacing is unrelenting.
Yeah.
Like that's why it's nonlinear. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's told in a way that like there's no lull, because if you told it in a conventional, like the last 40 minutes would be them on a boat. Like it's told in a way that there's like a climax that all the characters are going through together, and then the resolution at the end is all at the same time.
This is one of his few movies where everything's okay at the end too.
Yeah, I guess
You know
that's
what I
true. Yeah, this one actually ends on a happy note, which is kind of surprising.
Yeah, free beer. That's the best
Hey,
note.
weird. No one dies. Just kidding. A lot of people die.
Yeah.
But a lot more could have died.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
It's not that I don't like it. I could watch it again. We're in the part of the Nolan ranking where I could watch any of these movies again
That's
with
fair.
time.
Yeah.
Mine's just Tenet that I won't watch again.
Yeah, I don't see a reason to ever watch this.
Honestly, yeah, I'd have to agree.
And follow.
Well, I don't know.
For me.
Well, we'll get there.
Anyways, yeah, that's my piece on Dunkirk. It's fine.
Okay, so I think like the dogfights in Dunkirk are just positively electrifying.
Those are
man.
cool.
Like it's just so exciting to see those planes up there, and then also
Tom Hardy, man.
homie like recorded this thing in a Spitfire. Like he like rigged up a World War II plane with an IMAX camera to
You can
record
see
the
it.
dogfight.
Yeah.
That is crazy to not even like rig a World War II plane to like film a movie in, but just to like have the balls to get in a plane from World War II and get off of the ground with it. That's insane to me.
It's
That's
totally nuts,
crazy.
man. I mean, it's just so.
And also, I guess Nolan really likes putting a mask on Tom Hardy.
That's so
Yeah.
funny, man. What mask can we put on Tom Hardy?
Yeah. What's next? What's the next mask Tom Hardy's gonna wear?
You know, Cillian Murphy had a comment about that too. He's like, he asked him to be in Dunkirk. He's like, "Are you gonna put a bag on my head again?" This is like the only movie he doesn't have a bag on his head that he's in. Even in Inception, they bag his head for a little bit.
Yeah, you get some of the Nolan cast in here too. You got Hardy, you got Cillian Murphy, and you got the guy that's the captain.
Who's the baddie in Tenet?
Who is the baddie in Tenet?
Yeah, whatever that guy's name is.
Gosh,
who knows?
I don't know.
Cillian Murphy's got a great role. The part on the boat is one of my favorite parts of the story because you really get this idea of just
the little boat.
Yeah, the little boat.
Oh yeah,
it's like the father and his two sons, and Cillian Murphy ends up killing this other guy's son.
A father, a son, and like his friend.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah. And they're like, this kid essentially dies. They're heading in to like almost surely be killed.
Active war. Yeah.
And the dad is like, no, we have to do it.
Yeah.
This is our duty.
Like men are gonna die if we don't go.
If we don't go, yeah. And then they're, it's revealed that like he had an older son who also died already. Like he's already given so much and is ready just to give everything. You know what I mean? It's an intensely powerful scene.
It's like, take my other son, take me.
And then
take my boat.
Right when you think that, there's no hope left in the situation, you get that shot of all the boats.
Yeah.
It's like the ending of
Return of the King.
Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, that's it.
When all the ships show up in Rise of Skywalker, except it feels like earned, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And much slower.
Dude, and then they hit, I know this isn't going to mean much, but they hit Elgar's Enigma Variations, Nimrod. They hit this powerful piece, man. But it's this beautiful arrangement. And then it's also like Elgar is just one of the most famous British composers ever. So it's like the most British thing. The dude is on their currency. That's how famous Elgar is.
That's pretty nuts.
He's the pomp and circumstance guy. He's the graduation music guy.
He's the Aaron Copland of...
Yeah, he's the Aaron Copland of England.
Yeah.
But man, what a great scene. Probably like the second most emotional moment for me in the entire Nolan catalog. I'd even rank it above Sad Michael Caine and Dark Knight Rises, which was very emotional.
Yeah, that is sad.
But yeah, man, that really hit me. And then also, I love the story with the young soldier who's with that guy who's quiet the whole time. You know something's up.
Oh yeah,
the guy who's just trying to take a dump, and then the guy who's just the Frenchman who's trying to survive.
Not trying to talk. Yeah.
Who's digging up a dead body and like stealing his uniform.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or burying a body of a uniform he stole already.
He's a frog.
Yeah. Again, Nolan giving us the twist right at the beginning of the movie, but then Harry Styles, man, I gotta say,
he's got acting chops.
He did really, really well. It's totally understated. They're not like bringing attention like, hey, this is the One Direction kid. But he feels so natural. And that's another great thing. All the people in this movie just feel like we're young British men who've been thrown into this scenario. Like, we have no idea how we're going to get out of this.
Yeah.
They just feel like real people. It's really nice.
Harry Styles is going to be in the MCU universe now, too.
What?
Yeah.
Is he going to be Wolverine or what?
No. It's a character that none of us know. I guarantee it.
Well, could have had Brandon.
Side note, really just a quick sidebar. I ended up watching The Eternals because it's free on Disney.
Yeah.
People unrightfully shat on that movie.
Wow.
It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
You heard it here first.
They're just mad because there's a black gay guy in it.
Get woke, go broke.
Yep. It's a fine movie.
Bunch of idiots.
There's not much action in it, but it's a good story.
I don't know if there's much more. Oh, well, this is just a question for you guys. Maybe I'm dumb, but
yes, you are dumb.
Doesn't it just seem like this is not the way to plan this retreat?
Yes.
Like, let's have all the soldiers. I know this is what really happened, but it's like, let's have the soldiers lined up on the beach
with their backs to the beach,
where they can get gunned down. Why not? Okay, we have this territory. We're gonna have the men in here. We're gonna go in phases. All right, we're gonna back out this group. You're gonna occupy these houses that are all empty.
Down. Exactly.
You're gonna hold up in here, and then when we're ready, we're gonna like send you out. You know what I mean?
Or in hiding. You know what I mean? Like.
Well,
make them hide in the building.
You have all those people in the buildings, then the Germans are just going to bomb the buildings instead of the beach.
But isn't it better than just being out?
They're easier to spot on the beach. That's for sure.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, there's no element of surprise anymore. There's no guesswork. There's no strategy.
Yeah, it could have been more of like a covert thing.
Yeah. Now I'm no military expert, but to me, I was just like, England, was this the best choice?
I mean, there's even a line at the end where it's just like, yeah, we're happy to have these boys home. These boys did their best. It probably wasn't the best planning. Like they say something to that effect. Like this was a tactical blunder. This should have been handled better.
Well, what's that like saying? It's a football saying actually. Like everyone has a plan until it's the first.
Hug 'em, chuck 'em football.
Hug 'em, chuck 'em football. No, it's like everyone has a plan until the first snap. You know what I mean? Like everyone, you can plan, but it goes out the window when something goes wrong. You know what I mean? So maybe that's what it is. Just human reaction.
Well, you guys watch Dunkirk. Tell us what you think.
Yeah, let us know. Comment below.
Maybe we're who's most right, I guess. Or who do you line up with anyway? Danny, what's your pitch for the next? Which I think we're now at
6.
Insomnia.
Oh, I'm so down for Insomnia.
Let's do it because I feel like I'm gonna have a hard time getting Inception below Insomnia, so we might as well.
Yes. I would much rather watch Inception than Insomnia, but yeah. So
all right, well, Insomnia.
Yeah.
Big city cops come to a small Alaskan town to solve a murder. It's not just a simple crime of passion, however.
Hey, they're not just cops. They're dicks.
They're detectives. However, when a misfire creates a complex situation for Al Pacino, Insomnia. Hooah! I had to get one who on there.
Well, and I was describing this movie to my brother, and I was like, "Yeah, it's Al Pacino, Robin Williams." He's like, "Wow, so Al Pacino, he's like in it." I was like, "Oh, he's all over it. He's Al Pacinoing all over the place.
He rocks it so
it's
hard.
great."
Yeah, Nolan straight up says he's like, I've directed a lot of big actors. I've never had an actor who gets it right on the first take every time.
Yeah.
He's like, with Al Pacino, he hits it, and it's like, do we need to do a second take?
Yeah.
We got it.
Nolan was saying, or even some of the interviews were saying that, like, he hardly rehearsed. Like, he waits until he's a method actor, but he also waits until, like, right before performing to, like, meet with his other actors and stuff like that.
Weird.
So, like, get his reactions, like, real.
That's probably how he got the Dunkachino down. You know what I mean?
The Dunkachino.
That's how he hit that Dunkachino so seamlessly.
Jesus Christ.
What I love about him is that he can, like, weave in and out of just being calm and just being at 11 angry in, like, a second. And you're just like, oh, dude, he's got that Viper snap.
The best is when Al Pacino's calm up to 11 and then finishes on a calm note. It's like, oh my God, he's going to rip my eyes out now?
There's this part in the movie, I don't know if you remember when he's like talking to his partner while his partner's alive.
How dare you?
He's just like talking about internal affairs. He's just like, I just don't want this internal affairs guy coming up on here. And then he's just like, the partner is just like calmly talking, and he's just like, "Fuck you, care!" out of nowhere. He's like, "Damn, all right, calm down, Pacino."
Yeah, he lets him know exactly what he's thinking.
Man.
That's fun.
Oh, what I was gonna say is I didn't know that Robin Williams was in this movie before watching it, and so when he popped on screen, I was just like, "Oh, baby, this is gonna be awesome."
Dude, that was my exact thought, because I knew before I watched it, but only because I was like, and it was on the list, and I was like, Insomnia, let's see. I've never ever heard of this movie, and I just saw like the top billed actors, and I was like, what? Like Robert Pacino, Robin Williams? I didn't know these guys ever worked together.
Robert Pacino?
Robert Pacino?
Al Williams?
It's so crazy. And then you get like, I love getting to see Robin Williams play a creep. It's one of my favorite things that we'll obviously never get again for obvious reasons.
Why?
And then watching...
why aren't we going to get it again?
Because he's with Coco now.
Wait, what happened to Coco?
Didn't Coco die? Coco's dead. Isn't Coco dead?
Harambe? He's with Harambe?
He's with Harambe.
Oh, Coco's also dead.
Yeah.
Coco is dead.
Wait, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Coco's
I'm pretty
dead.
sure.
Yeah.
If Coco's not dead, let us know below in the comments.
Send us an email.
Yeah, there's a lot of things I liked about this movie. Before we go any further, I totally forgot about numbers because I was just really excited to watch about this, like to talk about this first watch.
Watch about this talk.
Watch about this talking. 7.2 out of 10 on IMDb, 92% on Rotten Tomatoes, 118-minute runtime. Made on a budget of $46 million because everything's more expensive in Alaska. An opening weekend of $930,169. My brain's getting very confused. Worldwide gross of $113,758,770.
All right.
Love a good detective crime feel. This one felt very good. I love like I said, the Al Pacino's slow descent into madness with first he's got the stress of AI and then he's got the stress of like
IA.
IA, yeah,
And also impending artificial intelligence.
Right now, he's probably pretty stressed out.
We
about
all
AI.
have the stress of AI.
We're all stressed out.
Boston Dynamics, cut it out, man.
The
You're
added
playing with fire.
Seriously though, have you never seen a Terminator movie ever?
Exactly.
What is wrong with you? The added stress of and the struggle internally of like, spoiler, did I shoot my partner on purpose?
On
like
purpose,
did I kill him on purpose or was it actually an accident? I'm confused about it myself now.
But also the insomnia.
Yeah, and then the insomnia just like escalates everything because by the end of this he hasn't slept in what, like 6-7 days, and he's straight up like out of it by the end of this movie. And Hilary Swank is okay. Swank.
I don't like Hilary Swank.
She's aight.
And you know what? She was okay in this movie.
Yeah, she is good in this movie. She serves a purpose.
I was like, better than Freedom Riders.
I've never seen that.
Don't watch it.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no reason to watch Freedom Riders.
Yeah, unless
All you need to know is white saviorism.
Is your high school teacher out and you're a junior and they need to like put a movie on?
Yikes.
Then don't watch it.
It's either that or Dead Poet Society. Yeah. Al Pacino's slow descent into madness. Also, creepy Robin Williams, and this is right after he did 1 Hour Photo.
Ooh.
So this is right where he's trying to show his serious chops. Probably before World's Greatest Dad too.
Yeah.
I mean, this is we say it's just a crime thriller, but this is a Christopher Nolan film that doesn't feel like Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
And at the same time, just a little bit does. But it's a very unique crime thriller because it's like our protagonist did a bad thing, and now he's got just as much like eggs in the basket as the guy he's hunting does, and they both need each other.
Yeah.
To like not go down together, and they're both willing to help each other. At the same time, they're working against each other.
But still, like I love the dynamic of Robin Williams being like, see. We made like we're the same guy, you know. We're the exact same guy.
Like, no,
and Al Pacino's like, no, like you're a piece of shit.
Yeah,
you murdered a child.
Yeah. He can't accept that at all.
You beat a young teen girl to death.
Yeah.
Like I may or may not have intentionally shot my partner in the fuck. Chasing you, might I add.
You know, I gotta say, first off, that fog scene is sick.
It's awesome,
The
right?
fog scene's great. And to me, that's kind of where the movie's just like,
Dude, that ferry scene is awesome. When they have the exchange, and Robin Williams like lets him know, like, I saw what you did, and I got just as much dirt on you as you did. You can like see the beginnings of like the writing that he's gonna start doing for like something like The Dark Knight, with like the exchanges between Heath Ledger.
because it's on a ferry.
Well, there's that too, because he likes boats, but also because it's just like a really good dialogue exchange of just like Al Pacino coming to the realization like, oh my God, I'm going to go to jail. All right, what do you need?
Yeah, I really like. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was gonna say in the same vein, I really like the ferry scene. I really like the conversation they have on the phone, like when what is like nighttime while the sun's still up. When Robin Williams finally like confesses to him like how everything happened. Robin Williams views it as this like catharsis, like bonding thing, and Al Pacino's just like, oh my God, you can see like his skin crawling.
Scumbag.
Like I cannot believe I'm talking to this scumbag right now. Yeah, I really enjoyed that.
Brings back Seven vibes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe it's kind of in relation with what Frank was saying earlier about following, but after the ferry scene, I feel like I could have pretty much, this is how the rest of this movie's going to go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Robin Williams is going to hold it over his head.
Yeah.
And then at the end, he's going to have to kill him.
Yeah.
And he's probably going to die too. And then I was like, well, all right. That's just kind of where, you know, it didn't quite do it all for me. I mean,
you know what? I had arrived at pretty much the same conclusion, but instead of being like, and he's probably going to die too, I was like, but is Al Pacino walking away from this? That was the big question for me.
He's too broken to let that happen in the story. You know what I mean? He's got to suffer somehow more because he did kill his partner. But
I was like, is he gonna die or is Hilary Swank gonna like
arrest
cuff him and arrest him?
Yeah,
definitely possible.
Yeah,
that was a cool like a separate plot at the same time. It's just like, oh, Hilary Swank is like a do-gooder intern essentially who's like actually gonna incriminate you.
Well, actually,
yeah.
I like the performances. Robin Williams is good. Al Pacino's good. I mean, I'd kind of much rather watch World's Greatest Dad or 1 Hour Photo for an intense Robin Williams.
For sure.
1 Hour Photo is like something else, but
I agree with that.
It's nice. I don't hate the movie. It's just
you could take it or leave it.
Yeah, it's just not particularly special. One thing that was like laugh out loud hilarious for me though was the chase scene
on the logs.
Well, not even. Well, it's the beginning of that scene when Al Pacino's running and they're trying really hard to make it look like he's running.
Yeah.
And he's like doing a brisk jog, but the camera's getting all intense and getting in on him. And it's just like him like.
You can tell Al Pacino's kind of old.
Because he's like 70 years old. He like can't run for longer than like 2 minutes. That had me laughing uncontrollably. I was really digging that. Also, I feel like it's irresponsible for this hotel or whatever you want to call it, lodge.
Yeah, I think it was a lodge. Lodge.
Yeah, lodge. To not have blackout curtains.
Right? If it's 24-hour sun?
Yeah, you're telling me y'all have sun 24 hours a day for like half the year. And you're using this white pull down. Like, what are you doing?
Dude, the hotel I'm staying at in Finland, where it is 24 hours in winter, or at certain parts of the year, they do have blackout curtains.
Yeah, you know why? Because they know how to deal with it. It makes sense.
Because hospitality business.
Like the whole crux, and I get that it's a symbolic thing. It's like the unrelenting guilt of his actions, you know? But as a storytelling device, it's like... And then Al Pacino's like putting clear tape on the window to keep it pushed on there.
Clear tape doesn't hold nothing except for wrapping paper.
It's like, dog, why don't you try to figure out
if you buy the Dollar General band.
Yeah, right. Why don't you get a quilt rug or like rigged up or something?
Bro, just wear a sleep mask.
Why don't you why don't you go to the front desk and ask them if they got something to help you? Like, you know what I mean?
That lady seems nice enough. She'd probably help you out.
Nice. So, see if they got a room they can hook you up with where the sun is coming from the other side of the building. Like, instead of blasting you right through the window. Just
see if you could sleep in the basement or something.
It bothered me too much. The logistics of how this hotel / lodge was run really got under my skin. I had a hard time letting it go. You
know what scene I really like is in the initial detective work when he goes to the high school and he talks to that kid who's suspected.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that scene's amazing when the kid just like lights up a cigarette. He just stares at him and he just grabs his desk and pulls him over and he's just like, look, this tough guy shit you got going on, I don't care about it. You know, you might trick these dumb local cops, but I already know what's going on.
I was like, whoa, is this me in 8th period? What's going on? This feels so familiar. I've said this exact thing.
And you know the moment that kid is like looking at Al Pacino, even as an actor, in reality, he's kind of scared. Like he's just oh my God.
Is Al Pacino going to hit me right now?
Right.
Which would be kind of cool, man.
I would take one from Al Pacino.
Yeah, sure. For sure. Dunkachino himself. All right, well. Insomnia.
Hey.
It's a good movie.
Check it out.
It's fun.
Honestly, I don't. Fun. Yeah. I give it like 7 out of 10.
Give it a spin, you know?
Okay, so I guess it's to me, and of what I have next... Let me see, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. This was originally my 6, but I guess now we're talking about...
This was my 7.
We're talking about 5.
7, 6,
Dang.
5. I got The Dark Knight Rises up next.
I have... You've already said this one.
Yeah, but I'm also really okay putting The Dark Knight Rises down there. I feel like I ranked it too high for myself.
I have Inception.
Number 2. No, sorry.
Inception's my number 5. We're at number 5, right?
Yeah, we're at 5. Inception's my 4, but I'm missing Dunkirk now. So now it's essentially 3. Where's The Dark Knight Rises for you?
I did a 3, but that was part of my second guessing.
What?
It's my number 4.
Interesting.
I really like The Dark Knight Rises.
I mean, it's good.
Yeah. But I like it better than Inception, though.
I don't know, man.
You know what I mean? I think it's a great end to the trilogy. I'm sorry. Okay, am I justifying why we could put it there?
Yeah, just justify. Just don't get too into it.
It's a great end to the trilogy. Yeah. It's one of the best performances from Tom Hardy like ever. And it
doesn't even hang dong.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Doesn't hang dong.
Have you seen Bronson? Dude hangs dong.
No, but I mean, come on, man. This guy like spurned like a meme of himself and a costume of himself.
But is it even that great of a performance, or is he just saying big like?
Yeah, I don't even think it's
We
that
give
good
it to you, the people. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, okay.
He created a
people.
character. Like he created a character, just like Heath Ledger created a character, but not in a way to like copy Heath Ledger.
Not
you know
just
what I mean?
like, because he did finish the film.
Look, all he does is he does the suspender thing, and then he says, "I live in the darkness."
But it's
like, that's his whole role.
What I love about The Dark Knight is that it's like Batman is broken and he's broken, and it's like him mending himself from being broken, literally rising out of the pit. Obviously, that's kind of like too symbolic, but like I like seeing Batman like out of commission for like the whole part of the movie.
I think I agree with what you're saying. I just think that there's a few narrative issues in Dark Knight Rise. It's a little messy. It's a little too stuffed.
The Talia al Ghul stuff, I'm just like, come on.
And strangely enough, like Inception, even that movie is kind of a mess.
That's a mess.
Is a little bit tighter though. Like I know what they're doing. I know what the intent is, and the pacing feels right. It feels more succinct. That's why I'd put Inception over Dark Knight Rises. Whereas Dark Knight Rises, there's a couple scenes where I'm like, hey, we really need to be doing this right now. Like,
Yeah, David's won my vote. I think Inception should be higher.
I could secede it.
I know everybody listening right now are like diehard fans. They've listened to everything we've done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I know when we first like see a lead Inception, I was like, I don't get what all the fuss is about. This was my second watch, and I had a much more appreciation for it this time.
That's interesting.
The hype was just built up way too much for that first watch.
He's a grower, not a shower, Christopher Nolan. Sometimes
Tom Hardy too.
But Tom Hardy's showing. Once again, view Bronson.
Are you looking it up right now?
It's already my desktop screensaver. Are we okay with Dark Knight Rises then?
Yeah, you
Dark
can
Knight
put it on
Rises.
there. Yeah,
Number 5.
Number 5, Dark Knight Rises.
I could watch either of those films. I would just rather. I don't know.
Now we're getting into it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah, it's only gonna get tougher or easier.
The Dark Knight Rises wraps up the most consistent comic book film series ever. This time there's a cat and a jacked European guy.
Cat.
JGL runs down a series of corridors, and Michael Caine is very sad. It's Escape from New York, but everyone's got a mask.
Hey, that's true. It is Escape from New York.
Dude. Well done, David.
Thank you.
I feel like JGL just didn't need to be in the movie, obviously, and then they just do him wrong. He's like, is he Robin? Will he be Robin?
Oh, but his name is literally Robin.
Yeah.
What a weird choice to go with.
Yeah, kind of weird. Especially if you knew you were tying up the trilogy with this.
Now, there is a deleted scene where they say that he is the heir to the Red Robin fortune.
Okay.
And if that was in the movie, yeah, it would make a lot more sense. I think,
but they just like do him dirty. And then like Nolan knew he was ending on this one, so why would you introduce him now?
Well, it's just to say, and it continues. You know what I mean? And the cycle continues, I guess.
Just like the end of Dunkirk. Like, everybody got home, but Tom Hardy's probably getting tortured in a Nazi concentration camp right now.
Tom Hardy's not making it out.
No, he didn't. He didn't have a great ending in that movie.
Yeah, we talked about how it ended on a happy ending, but the last scene is like,
except for Tom Hardy,
the guy who played one of the most pivotal roles.
For a vast majority of the cast, it's a happy ending.
The Dark Knight, released in 2008, has a 9 out of 10 on IMDb, also known as almost the highest score you could get. 94% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Wow.
With its 152-minute runtime. Honestly, I wasn't expecting either of those scores.
I remember hearing too high.
Way more gripes than what those scores led me to believe. Budget was 185 millions. Opening weekend of 158 million.
Yeah, it was a big release.
Yeah, like this is one of our largest worldwide grosses. 645.
Also, the release of this movie also coincided with that tragedy. So,
is it?
That was this movie.
I thought it was Dark Knight.
No, Dark Knight Rises.
Was it?
I'm pretty sure.
Shooting.
I'm pretty sure.
Theater.
Yeah, in the Colorado theater.
No, you might be right, because Dark Knight when I was in high school still.
Because
Dark Knight would have had to come out. He would have been like, "Oh, Heath Ledger," and then eventually in his head,
I was
out and kill people.
At the movies on that night when the Dark Knight Rises was premiering, and then I remember seeing it on my phone that it was happening in Colorado, and I was just like, "Oh, we should probably go home."
Why? What are the odds of it happening?
I don't know, but you never know.
Like you see the person next to you get struck by lightning, you know you're probably fine.
Maybe.
Even if you're wearing like a belt of forks or something.
Which, as you
often do.
Yeah.
He's the guy from
Silverware Tech.
No, he's the guy from
the Raj.
The Blue Raj.
The Blue Raja. Wow. Anyway, fun fact though, Nolan is the only British director to surpass $1 billion box office worldwide.
I was gonna say, wow, I didn't know Christopher Nolan was the only British director. That's crazy. I would have assumed there were more.
No, it turns out they are all terrible at making movies. Man. Okay, again, I feel like all the Dark Knight movies, but this one in particular, they just got this air of being a James Bond movie.
Yeah, they do. Oh, it ends in a James Bond movie. I mean, he's like, faked my death.
Yeah, it's so Bond that I'm like, how have they not given this guy the reins? He's got the pedigree.
There's still time.
He would have done really good with Daniel Craig too.
He would have, dude.
He would have done real good.
I mean, we got some, like Sam Mendes did incredible stuff with Skyfall, but...
What's the one after that? Spectre?
Spectre.
I feel like that one would have been done better with Nolan.
Maybe if they do lock down the Idris Elba Bond, give it to Nolan and just make it some crazy stuff.
He's got to redeem himself from Tenet. You know what I mean? I don't think he thinks that he needs to redeem himself from Tenet, but he does.
Thinks his audience needs to redeem themselves.
God, they just need to catch up. They're so stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how non-linear you can get with Bond, but he'll find a way to do it. Littlefinger kicks this movie off.
Huh.
There's a lot of Game of Thrones cast members.
Aidan Gillen.
Yeah, there's a lot of Game of Thrones guys in
a lot of Game of Thrones, a little bit of Sons of Anarchy, and one Weeds cast member.
Did you guys
who's
catch
the dead detective from Insomnia?
Did you guys catch Joffrey in Batman Begins?
The tiny little Joffrey?
He's the little
who
boy.
Still even looks like an a-hole?
I didn't even see that.
That Katie Holmes saves.
Whoa.
Like at the end, the one she protects when the city's getting filled, it's Joffrey.
What?
You can see it, like the face is still the same.
Yeah, but
Jack
he's
Gleason.
He's a tiny little baby.
Little baby. But that first scene is so cool, man. But it's straight up a James Bond cold open. It's like exactly how they would do
you're talking about on the plane?
Yeah, the plane where they,
awesome.
they intercepted in midair. I mean, that is a way to start a movie off, man.
It's super tight.
And then because he's actually doing it too. That's the craziest part. That like Nolan is like, we'll just do it.
Yeah. Let's just get two planes and go right under each other. And no problem.
Insane.
But the tension is awesome.
Yeah.
And I mean, I agree. It's like a really great intro scene.
Mm-hmm.
It does lose itself along the way, like when the criminals take over the city and blah blah blah. Yeah, you're talking about Escape from New York.
The biggest sin for me is the Battle of Gotham, when you have all the cops at one end and all the bad guys at one end with like their tanks and their automatic guns. The cops have like their Glocks in their hands,
their batons,
but they're like running at the dudes with machine guns. They're just like, nobody's shooting on the cop side. Nobody's running and shooting. I would have accepted that a little bit more, but they're handgun in hand, running straight at, getting mowed down by machine guns until they're like fist fighting. It's super weird.
I also, there's a bit of just like storytelling issues here where in the first two movies, we're taught to not trust the cops.
Yeah.
And how corrupt they are.
They're all on the take.
There's a bit of a dialogue in Dark Knight Rises about, well, all the crime's gone because Joker took everyone out and then Batman took out Joker. So now there's no one to pay the cops. So now we're all like above board. But
and they have some line about like the Dent Act helping them lock up 500,000 criminals or something crazy.
So then now,
crazy number.
Yeah, now the cops are clean and it's like, I kind of don't buy that. And why is it now like there's a bunch of like cop saviorism in this movie that it's just kind of the cops are the only people who can help us out of the situation. I'm like, dude, the cops have been ruining Gotham for like 50 years.
And even still, these cops, like you see the like JGL's whole thing is like, well, like, aren't we supposed to be chasing justice? But like, and then the lead detective, whatever, the guy from he's in Weeds too, actually.
Oh,
there's two Weeds characters in these
Gary
movies.
Oldman.
No, the blonde guy.
That guy, Guy Pearce.
Is that Guy Pearce? What does Guy Pearce look like?
This is great. But yeah, he's like he's constantly like, well, shouldn't we look into this more? And what does he keep calling him? A busybody? Hey, let's get these loudmouth. How many times I have to tell you, don't let the loudmouths in here?
Yeah.
These guys, this cop's asking way too many questions.
Mm-hmm.
So there's still like those cops who were down in the gutters playing summer camp or whatever they were doing down there. Probably
summer camp.
A little gay for the state, you know? How long were they down there for?
It was a couple months, right?
Yeah. How long would you have to be trapped in the gutter before you like touched one?
6 hours.
Nice. I'll remember that the next time we're trapped somewhere.
Fair enough. Maybe you caught this, Frank, because you're the audio man. Maybe you didn't. Don't want to embarrass you.
Sup?
There's like just some weird mixing on the Bane voice where when Bane talks...
It's way too high and it's everywhere.
It's everywhere. It's in front of the entire mix.
It's in front. It's behind. It's on top. It's It's like Bane's mask isn't just a breathing device, but it also amplifies sound so that it takes up the entire room.
It's in Dolby Surround, don't you know?
Yeah, he sounds like the narrator of the movie. It's so it takes me out a little bit.
Yeah. That's a big gripe for sure. Like the voice is silly in itself, but the audio mix really throws it off. Like, why is this happening?
Yeah, I mean,
takes you out of it a little bit.
I know we're complaining a lot. I mean, I do enjoy the movie. I mean, the Michael Caine stuff at the beginning is one of the most powerful parts for me, where Alfred just bails. He's like, I'm not gonna bury another one of you guys. I'm done.
Mm-hmm. And I love he tells him, I tell you this knowing that it means that you're not going to want to be around me anymore, but it's more important for me to try to save your life than it is to like keep you in my life.
Yeah. Man, the Michael Caine, Bruce Wayne, I should say Alfred Bruce Wayne relationship in the Dark Knight trilogy is just so strong.
Yeah.
Both those guys have great chemistry together.
That's almost like they've been in movies together before.
I know. I don't know how. It's crazy how they got it happening. I do have to say, though, that I love Anne Hathaway. Love me some Anne Hathaway. But...
Yes, I also love me some Anne Hathaway butt in that Catwoman costume, David.
Okay, not what I was going to say.
Well said, David.
Well
Great
done.
point.
Not what I was going to say, but I feel like not enough Catwoman. I don't get my full, I don't get my full fill of the Catwoman.
Another element they introduced.
Did you need her to be
late.
like licking the back of her hands and like doing like one of these with her ears and stuff?
Like Diane Keaton?
Diane Keaton. No, it's Michelle Pfeiffer.
That's the one. Michelle.
Yeah.
I always switch those two up.
No, you're good, Danny. I won't judge you. But it's judge me. Justice.
Justice.
I wanted just a little bit more. I feel like almost this could have been 2 movies. This could have been a part 1, part 2.
He could have done another one.
But he didn't want to.
Yeah.
And I think the ending is killer.
Yeah.
Man, that cafe in Paris scene gets me every time.
Very Bond, honestly.
Super
the
Bond,
most Bond
man.
ending you could have had.
The man is trying to make Bond, and then he did it when he made Tenet, but
Oh.
he should have just made a straightforward spy thriller with light time travel.
Yeah, the hint.
A hint.
You know what I mean?
Too heavy.
Like, is this supernatural?
I was
That'd be cool.
I had actually made a comment earlier today that because of like Tenet and a little bit Inception, I don't know how soon I will be willing to watch another time travel movie. Like I'm kind of had my fill on time travel for a little bit. I don't want to think about it anymore.
Yeah.
I don't want another director to go like, "Whoa, isn't that trippy?" at me for 90 minutes. I can't do it.
It's a messy subject to write well. I mean, you got Primer, and that sets the bar like super high.
And I mean, Clock Stoppers
and Butterfly Effect.
Clock Stoppers, though.
Wow.
Clock Stoppers, though, dog. That's it.
Dang.
That's the pinnacle, dude.
CLE coming
That's the one with the watch, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Sweet.
A Nickelodeon's joint. A Nickelodeon's film joint.
That wasn't Robert Rodriguez, was it?
Oh, no. I don't think
Okay.
There's no way.
It seems like it would
I
be.
own it. We'll check right now.
Wow.
I guess we could just look it up on the internet. I mean, are we closing the book on Batman? I think so.
I think so. I think
so.
we should.
Until we get to Dark Knight.
Yeah,
Anyway,
obviously we got one more.
So now we're at 4, and I'm guessing, I don't remember whose turn it is, but
I think it's my turn or Danny's. It's definitely not David's.
It's not mine. Let's go with you, Frank. What are you pitching next?
I think to keep the rest of my picks in order with what I have left, I think I would have Inception as my number 4.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I agree.
I think Inception originally was 4, now in a 3-ish slot. But for me, we passed up The Prestige, which I had at 5, which I had a feeling you guys would have way higher than I did.
Way higher.
I do have it way higher than that.
Way higher.
No. What are we doing?
I don't have wiggle room for that one. I can't.
It's not 1, is it?
No.
Frank?
Yes.
I don't know if I can do one, but I'm willing to go Inception
For number 4?
in the spirit of,
Yeah, I don't know where you guys have Inception because we haven't discussed it at all yet.
The Dark Knight's definitely better than Inception.
Yeah, Dark Knight
I feel the
is,
same.
Yeah.
Interstellar is.
Yes.
I don't know about Prestige, but I'll put it here. I mean, it's good. No way am I trash talking the movie, but
I like the Prestige way more than Inception. That's for sure. It's definitely got to be above Inception for me.
okay, let's do the Prestige.
We're doing Inception, correct?
Yeah, Inception.
Trying to Bugs Bunny my ass again.
Rabbit season.
You son of a...
I was so close.
Nah, you're gonna have to try harder than that to get me, old boy.
Can you hit us with a Leonardo DiCaprio plays Cobb, a sharp and sophisticated thief.
That's more accurate.
Leading an Ocean's 11-esque team. The crew typically infiltrates the mind, stealing well-guarded secrets from powerful marks. But when Cobb is presented with the opportunity to be reunited with his family,
Oh my god.
they attempt the near impossible task of planting an organic idea instead. You'll pretend to understand it. It's Inception.
What?
Yeah.
What, dude? Oh my God. Have you seen it? What? You haven't seen Inception? It's been out for 7 years. No, I'm never watching it. Never. Oh, I guess it's on the schedule. I guess I'll watch it.
Is this another Cobb?
Yeah, it's another Cobb.
Interesting.
Another Cobb thief.
Oh, a suave Cobb.
A suave Cobb, if you would, and a delicious salad.
Yeah, I love a Cobb salad. Man.
Love a good Cobb
Let's go.
salad.
Good stuff.
Okay, so Inception. I mean, Inception just doesn't it just have this air of just being cool? You know what I mean? It's got almost that Matrix effect where you watch it and you're like, dang, this is just cool.
Take me into your world.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's like what people make like. People are all excited about Avatar's world. I'm like, this seems kind of boring.
It is boring because it's Ferngully.
Inception's like
Also, explain to me this, like, you having sex with your horse?
Yeah. And
like,
this flying dragon thing.
Like, yeah.
Are we overlooking this? Can we talk about this?
Yeah, hold on. Back it up a little bit.
Because you guys were boning with this
Yeah.
like earlier.
At first, okay, yeah, that's how you control the horse. But now that's how you bang, too. So you're, like, banging your horse, right?
One can only think. Frank, hit us with the numbers.
Unobtainium. I'm sorry.
Inception, released in 2010, has an 8.8 out of 10 on IMDb and 87% on Rotten Tomatoes and has a 148-minute runtime. Budget of $160 million. So would have an opening weekend of $62,785,337. Worldwide gross $836,836,000. Weird. $967.
This movie was The Thing, bro.
Yeah, man.
The Thing.
Oh,
No,
God,
actually,
tell me
the
about
thing
it, dude.
is that John Carpenter movie.
Is The Thing. The Thing is
Yeah.
The Thing. But this movie was what everyone's talking about.
You know, Michelle and I saw this movie in theaters together on the 14th day that we were together as a couple.
Aw. Wow.
I know that because my movie ticket's in that box.
Dang.
I was like, whoa.
11 years. 12 years now coming up.
12 Years a Slave.
You said it. I didn't say it.
Anyway, love me some Inception. I think, yeah, it's what Frank was saying. It's got a bit of like, people talked about it so much for so long that if you hadn't seen it, it would drive you crazy.
They're like Inception bros, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, like they're the Rick and Morty crowd.
Yeah, exactly. Shoot, man, what I like about Inception is they got all these rules, and I feel like this is, yeah, it's ranked 4, but this is like the quintessential Christopher Nolan movie. This is the movie that says Christopher
This is
Nolan.
his movie. Yeah.
Yeah, and while a lot of these later ones like Interstellar and Tenet, they have a bunch of rules that we're just supposed to follow, and sometimes we're like, I don't really understand this, but sure. In Inception, I think it works so well because we all have a grounding point. We've all had a dream, and they explain it so simply. Just like, you know, JGL just being like, well, you know, in a dream you can see it accurately. It's not until you wake up that you have trouble. And then you're like, you know what? That's true. Okay, I'm down. I'm down with this rule. It's like, oh, you know what? Time passes faster in the dream world than it does in the real world. And you're like, you know what?
Yeah, it totally does.
Yeah, it totally does. This makes sense. Whereas, like, yeah, it's not based in science because it's fictional, but all the rules seem smart and well constructed, and I think that's what makes it so appealing to people. They're like, it's just a really well thought out universe.
Yeah.
And what a nice one.
And I mean, the action sequences are freaking awesome in this movie, man.
Man, that
hall scene,
turning scene,
the old boy scene in like in a spinning tunnel
room that's like real.
How they filmed it, I was like, when I saw how they filmed it, like my jaw dropped. I was like, that's amazing.
Again, they had already done it in a music video. There's that NSYNC music video where they do the rotating room.
Really?
And I'm pretty sure Cisco has a music video with that as well.
Is it the thong song?
It is not the thong song.
Can you tell me, is Joseph Gordon-Levitt in those music videos?
He could be.
He
could have been.
Possible, actually.
I'm pretty sure he was quite young. Like, he was still like Third Rock from the Sun age when those music videos were made. You know what I mean?
We'll have to check that out.
This is graphics wise, like, this is one of the movies that, like, I feel like began this trend of like thinking in like a 4-dimensional space or something, or a 5-dimensional space, like when the town's like folding in on itself.
Oh, you mean like Doctor Strange?
Like
Spider-Man,
we just saw them do it.
Yeah.
And even parts of Interstellar.
So like groundbreaking, and just like The Matrix, people have been trying to like copy aspects of this movie for years,
trying to recreate it.
And I know we hit that Brahm 1,000 times in this thing.
One more.
But every movie trailer for any action or thriller movie for the next 10 years,
Jesus,
filled with this Brahm. It's ridiculous. Is it one of these things where the movie, you can't remember it as fondly because it's kind of like screwed up the rest of movies for a while? You know what I mean?
It's such a cultural thing that it's just like you're flooded with it. Yeah. You know what I mean?
It's almost like, why are we even talking about this?
Yeah, everyone knows about Inception, right?
Except for Frank, but now he does.
It's his tag movie. You're right, though. Like, this is Nolan's, like, Christopher Nolan. Oh, he's the one that did Inception. Oh, exactly. Okay, yeah. Still a great movie.
Of Inception.
Yeah.
And it ends ambiguously, which is good. I like that in a movie.
I don't think it's that ambiguous.
It's up for interpretation.
You see, it hits a hard wobble right before they cut.
So you think it's going to fall?
Yeah, I think it's going to fall.
But does it?
I think it did.
Well, yeah, because you could argue there's like a turning point where when he goes down into limbo again, that the rest of the movie could be a dream. Like, he might not ever wake up again. But I don't know. I kind of think the movie is not... I agree with Frank. It wobbles. This is the end. We're in reality. But this is one of those times where the fan theories aren't super annoying to me, because I think the movie is made to people to walk away with what they think.
Yeah.
You know
and I like that.
Yeah.
Not enough movies do that anymore. Well.
For reals.
Yeah, it's a good caveat. Well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Killer cast.
Yeah.
Killer cast. A little bit of Michael Caine. I thought we'd get more Michael Caine.
Just a dash of Caine.
You got some Elliot Page.
DiCaprio,
Tom Hardy, JGL.
Cillian Murphy.
Who am I missing? Yes.
The aforementioned Cillian Murphy.
What's
the
Cillian
Japanese actor's name? He's great. He's in The Last Samurai.
Watanabe?
Oh,
yes,
Ken Watanabe.
Ken Watanabe.
Yeah.
Ken
Thank
Watanabe?
you.
Is that the Let Them Fight? He is the Let Them Fight guy.
Two old men waiting to die, filled with regret.
That scene is so good, man.
Dude, it's so good. He loves repeating lines back to people. Like when he gets shot, he's like, "No room for tourists on these jobs." It's like, okay. Half the lines these guys has in this movie are just...
I like when they're in the deeper dream and he just keeps getting worse. Like, he starts like coughing up blood. It's so good. They're just looking at him like, we really need to wrap this up soon because this guy's about to die.
The actual moment of Inception, when they finally get Cillian Murphy, when he opens the safe and then he finds that little paper, it's like, dang, this is good stuff.
Gotcha.
Man.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Man, it's so much fun, man.
It is a fun movie. I can't, like, there's moments in your life where and going back and like you're watching history, like we're talking about The Sixth Sense and Memento and something. It's like, first time you watch this movie, you're gonna remember it. You know what I mean? Like, it's you're gonna remember the plot no matter what, because it was so original. This is a very original movie.
Oh, it really is, man. and I just got to touch on it again. When you watch that part in the snow, it's just so James Bond, man. I mean, it's like the first level of GoldenEye.
Yeah, it is.
It is so James Bond. I can't contain it. I was like, make this.
Ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum.
Yeah, they need to make this movie, man.
Well, yeah.
What else is there to say?
What else can you say about Inception?
Yeah, you guys seen it.
Yeah, I don't feel like it's not too heady to the point where like my second watch wasn't about making sense of the movie. It just gave me a better appreciation for like the moves that were made. I think I had gotten rid of a little bit of like the bitterness of people telling me that I needed to watch it. Don't tell me how to live my life. You don't know what's good for me. But it's good. It's a good movie.
So you're saying, yes, they were right.
They just happened to be.
So Tenet was this guy trying to do Inception again, but wrong. Doing it wrong.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, a little out of touch with that one. Danny,
big miss.
We got 3 movies left.
Mm-hmm.
What's your pitch for number 3?
You're not going to agree.
Oof.
The Dark Knight.
Oof.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about this. I don't know about this.
I'm with David here, but I know for a different reason.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Like I now know for sure that you and I have the Dark Knight in a different position. Like you have it for number 1.
Yeah,
I have it for number 2.
1.
You have it for number 3.
I do have it for number
What's
3.
your number 1? Interstellar?
The Prestige.
Really?
Oh no, number 3? No,
number 1. What's your number 1?
My number 1 is The Prestige.
What?
Yeah.
What's your
My number 2 is The Prestige.
My number 3 is The Prestige. We're totally out of order for
Yeah,
this
our
last
top
time.
3 totally off kilter.
Oh,
very
no.
interesting.
I had to switch The Prestige today.
What did you have it originally?
Number 1.
What?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Really, guys? Okay.
Prestige
It's the
is
Bowie,
awesome.
isn't it? Come on, it's the Bowie.
Yeah, let's be honest.
I mean, Tesla and Bowie.
I mean, the Prestige is pretty cool.
Whoa.
Well, I'm not gonna try and Looney Tunes you again. Let's
You might.
figure out what 3 needs.
Yeah, let's
to
focus
be.
on 3.
I mean,
My number 1 is not going to be either of your number 1s, and it's very much because I like it
none of
a
our
lot.
number 1s are gonna be any of our number 1s.
it's-
Yeah, that's been established.
Well, my number 1 is not going to be conceded to number 1 at all, and I know this.
How though?
All right,
We're
so
all
let's-
on a different.
Well, let's just remember that Danny doesn't want
Okay.
the number 1 spot.
I do want it.
Yeah.
I do want it.
No, it's
I
too
just
late. You've
know
already
how it's
conceded.
going.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah,
We've
yeah.
agreed. We've moved on. I don't even know where to go here.
Yeah.
How do we even maneuver
What is
this?
the next step?
Here's just my argument for why Dark Knight should be number 1, and thus we can argue over 2 and 3.
Okay.
Dark Knight is perfect. The performances are perfect. The flow is perfect. The plot is perfect. The pacing is perfect. I mean, the dang cinematography is perfect. There's not a single thing in that movie where there's any sort of misstep whatsoever.
I feel like, for the sake of integrity, I should admit that when trying to figure out who was going to be number 1 between The Prestige and The Dark Knight for me, because I guess with what I have left, my top 3 would be Interstellar, Dark Knight, Prestige. The reason Prestige won over Dark Knight was a good old-fashioned Danny spite ranking. Because
you don't like Batman.
Yeah, because Batman.
Yeah, but think about
yeah,
this.
there you go,
buddy.
If you were impartial, I should say.
That's
to
what
Batman.
I'm saying. Like since we're stuck in this predicament for the top 3, I should admit that there is spite putting The Dark Knight below Prestige for me. So if I were to be a bigger person, I could concede the number 1 spot
Interesting.
to The Dark Knight if Prestige is higher than Interstellar.
If Prestige is higher than Interstellar,
So you're pitching
So I'm pitching a
Interstellar,
top 3.
Prestige,
Yeah.
Dark Knight.
Interstellar, Prestige, Dark Knight.
that's tough. I really
See, I'm satisfied about Dark Knight. I'm a little upset about Interstellar.
I think Interstellar is better than The Prestige,
I also agree.
but I love The Prestige. That is a movie I can watch 2 times a year and be down for because
See, this is funny because
so well. It's so
I
done.
put Prestige underneath Inception and Dunkirk.
crazy.
That's nuts.
That's crazy, man. No
Like,
way.
Prestige is cool. If anything, I think the final twist is a little too corny.
I thought the
Are you talking
final
about The
twist was
Prestige?
amazing.
I'm talking about
The twin?
Yeah, we can say it.
We can
It's been
say it,
out
yeah.
for forever.
Yes, this is the first time I'd ever watched it.
Kind of
I
a
had no
cop-out.
idea what was coming, and I appreciate that. Again, it's Nolan right in your face telling you exactly. Like Michael Caine is like, it has to be a body double.
Yeah.
There's no other way this is possible.
Yes.
And he's like, no, he's doing it somehow. He's doing it. That's really cool to me. But it's like, oh, it was my twin brother. And it's like, okay, like. All right. I mean, some of it really works for me, but
It's the lure that there could be magic in it at the end that keeps you going. You know what I mean? But you're right. They kind of sweep the rug under you when it's like, oh wait, no, it's just a twin brother that no one knew about.
yeah, that these two, and this is Michelle's point. This isn't mine. That these two twin brothers. Like this is like twinist thinking that twins are like the same person.
Oh yeah,
with the exact same motivations. Like,
but also like that happens,
I guess. But they're
Not
just
always.
full. Like I feel like if I had a twin brother and we went to go see The Prestige together, we might be insulted. Like we are not the same person. Stop getting us the same birthday gift.
I am Donald. He is David.
Are you saying that you're assuming yourself and your twin brother would have the same reaction, and that's your argument for that twins
No.
are different people?
That would be mine. I would be like, this is asinine, and the other guy would be like, this is chilling, man.
No, I think this is exactly how twins. No, I'm just saying like that totally happens with twins.
Yeah, sometimes. But to commit to like, let's live a double lifestyle as one person, like that just seems.
Also, at that moment in time in history, how many options do you really have for what to do with your life? You know,
I guess that's true. And as they
turn-
were raising up, it probably seemed more and more alluring.
Yeah. And there's a lot of money in it for him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Being a turn of the century magician.
But to me, it's just like Interstellar is like one of the most ambitious sci-fi movies of all time.
Yes. And
Kills it.
Yeah. The Prestige was higher than Interstellar for me before last night when I rewatched Interstellar.
Shoot.
And Interstellar is amazing. It is next level.
It's out of this world.
out of this
It is-
galaxy, even.
To me, it's within the top 5 movies inspired by 2001. That gets very close to 2001
Yeah.
level.
That's funny. When you hear my summary of it, you'll be like, huh.
So
how are we coming to terms with this?
I would be okay with The Prestige, Interstellar, Dark Knight.
Prestige, Interstellar, Dark Knight? What do you think about that, Frank? That's not what you said originally.
No, that is not what I said originally.
You said Interstellar, Prestige, Dark Knight. But now that Danny and I are on the same page, does it really matter?
See, and that's how a three-way vote works.
The Prestige.
All right, number 3, The Prestige. That's how democracy works.
This is what
unless we had
democracy
like
looks
an
like.
Electoral college that we had to do as well, and then things would get all skewed.
Nah.
You know?
Forget your ranked choice.
Well,
voting.
it would
We're
just
here.
be me voting for you because you can't make your own decisions.
True.
Wait, so what movie are we talking about?
The Prestige.
Worldwide, 2 young magicians are out to make a name for themselves after a horrific accident or maybe a betrayal. We spiral down the cyclical nature of revenge. Oh, and Bowie's Tesla. The Prestige.
Dude,
Here we are.
I love me some fiction intertwined with history,
Ooh.
with like dueling magicians, and there's
And-
so much spite in it. I love it.
Doppelganger films.
Doppelganger film.
Oh, The Illusionist.
Yeah, The Illusionist.
The Illusionist is also great.
See, I've
too.
never seen that movie, and I kind of don't want to now.
I've seen them both, and that's one of the reasons I hadn't seen either of them since they came out, and that's one of the reasons the ending was foggy to me. Like as we got towards the end, I was like, "Wait, how does this all end? Like, what is the? Oh my god!"
Did you like The Illusionist though?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay,
It's a good
maybe I'll
movie.
check it out. I
Yeah.
do love Edward
I remember
Norton.
liking them both, and I think that's why they get mashed in my memory.
Dude.
Same with Interstellar, it bleeds in a little bit with The Martian because Matt Damon.
Oh yeah, he's in both
Yeah.
of those.
Yeah.
And they both came out around the same time.
Yeah.
Huh. Matt Damon's just a jerk in Interstellar. Anyway, The Prestige is the dog. It is the man. It is an awesome movie.
Can it be dog and man? Are we talking about dog soldiers currently?
Some sort of werewolf scenario.
Is this Tim Allen's The Shaggy Dog?
Is this Prisoner of Azkaban?
This movie kind of reminds me of Catch Me If You Can in a weird way. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
Like
Yeah, I
the,
get-
the relationship.
It's like a little bit of it's like a chess match.
It's a
You're
back and forth
yeah,
chess
you're watching
match?
a little
Yeah.
chess play. I love just how each of them at one point are just at the lowest low.
Oh, yeah.
And then you're like, they're
Oh,
not getting
yeah.
lower. There's no way you get. Oh no! How
Wow.
could you?
I guess there is a sub-level to rock bottom.
Right.
When his wife drowns I'm just like, that just happened. Whoa, what happened right now? And he shows up with the bullet trick and just shoots him, and then he walks out. I'm just like, damn, this is amazing. I love feud movies, man.
I do really like that moment where he shoots him. It made me think of The Campaign, where he shoots Will Ferrell with the crossbow. Just walks up, shot, out.
That's an identical scene. Strangely enough.
Dude, it's so good.
The dove scene too, where he just shows up and he's got the dove on stage, and then
Prince is playing in the background.
When doves cry,
he cuts that lady's hands. Ugh, crazy, man. I also love the aesthetic of turn of the century. It really is really cool to me. I love Victorian era.
Which century?
This would be the 19th century, right? No, going into the 20th century.
Oh, sorry.
You get like all these crazy inventions and the cool steampunk look of it all, like steampunk magician stuff. You get to see stuff that was theorized by like Nikola Tesla and like a little bit about the Tesla Edison feud.
Like, the World's Fairs were lit AF.
Literally. Yeah. I mean, the cinematography is so cool. You like that scene when who is it? Is it Christian? No, it's what's Wolverine's name?
Hugh Jackman.
Huge jacked
man.
When Hugh Jackman goes with Andy Serkis to like Nikola Tesla's place, and then they got the light bulb field. Like, that's like a really crazy cool scene. He's just like, "Where's the wires?" And he's like, "Exactly,
it's magic.
No wires,
real magic."
And what do they keep calling him?
I call it less wires.
Yeah. What does he keep calling Tesla?
I'm pretty sure he calls him a wizard.
Yeah. And it's like the difference between being a magician and a wizard.
Yeah. It's like, no, he's actually doing magic.
This guy's doing magic.
No, it's science.
And that was so cool.
I also love that, they don't really go into it too much in the movie, but as long as you know like a little bit of history, it's like also the parallel between Edison.
It is.
And it's like they have the same relationship.
Yeah.
This feud of like kind of stealing each other's ideas and trying to discredit each other. Although, I mean,
it really was Edison stealing the ideas.
Yeah. So.
Which is crazy because it's not like Tesla is the one who electrocuted an elephant. Like Edison's the one that killed the elephant.
Yeah.
And they're still like, that lost Tesla points.
It's crazy. Right?
It was pretty crazy.
10 points Edison.
Yeah. As someone who hadn't seen this movie before, and
this is your first time?
Yeah, and my buddy has been recommending this movie to me since like 2006. So
that's a long time.
I even texted him. I was like, dude, I finally watched it. Like, you told me sophomore year of high school to watch Prestige. I finally watched it, and it was good.
It is good.
Which is funny because it was like, now what else do I say? But anyway, I thought Scarlett Johansson would be in more of it. After seeing her on the cover, I was like, oh, okay, this is like, all right, this is like Wolverine versus Batman, Black Widow's in it.
Yeah.
Like, what's going to happen? And then I was like,
Alfred.
She's just a little pawn.
Which is funny because she also thought she was going to be in Christian Bale's life more.
True.
Who do you like better in this movie, Hugh Jackman or Christian Bale?
Like, who do I agree with, or who do I?
I guess, yeah.
Which actor do I prefer?
Yeah, who would you agree with more?
Well, originally Hugh Jackman,
right?
Especially because Christian Bale straight up kills his wife.
Yeah. After
everyone says, "Don't do it, dude," and then he does it.
Yeah.
And it's like, that was a terrible. And then to shoot him afterwards, like, or to. It could have been solved then, and instead it was pushed more.
Usually when you kill a man's wife, that's as far as you go.
But then at the end, when he's trying to like steal his child and imprison him for life, I'm like, I think we've gone too far.
I really like Christian Bale's like approach as a character towards magic more, because he like appreciates the art of it. He's not trying to profit off of it as much, and he's like, he's just trying to battle against the capitalistic nature.
I guess, right?
Yeah.
But he's just got lame presentation. That's the issue.
That's the problem. Well, yeah, that's the thing.
That's one of the things they say. He doesn't have the showmanship.
Yeah, he wants to be a stage performer with no stage presence.
Yeah, that'll happen.
Yeah.
I've seen Tycho live. I know exactly how much that happens.
It's like that's why they don't have a top 40 hit.
Yep.
It's like a virtuosic musician who's done all the studying and stuff like that, you know what I mean? Who can play everything, and then this guy comes around and can play some stuff, and he's just got that strut.
Yeah.
And he's the one that makes the money. And you know what I mean? That's what is the feud between the two. It's cool.
And then the musical genius has 4 followers on SoundCloud. You know what I mean?
He's got a YouTube channel.
Would you agree that you could put this in like the sub niche genre revenge movie?
Dude, I love revenge movies. Yeah.
And I know we've really skipped over this, but Dunkirk could also be in the subgenre of disaster movies.
Yeah.
Huh.
It really plays more like a disaster movie than a war movie.
It was a tactical disaster.
Yeah.
Huh.
But I totally agree. This is a revenge movie for sure, dude.
That's good. I love spy movies, man.
This is good. This is good thing.
But
we did well. We did do good.
What put the next movie above it for me, or what put Interstellar above it for me, was the emotional aspect of Interstellar. And I mean, we'll talk about Interstellar right now.
This one had maybe my most like whoa, like whoa moments, prestige.
Yeah.
Whereas Interstellar had my most like where are the Kleenex at?
Yeah, dude. That's honestly one of the things that loses for me for Interstellar. Like, it's almost too emotional to a point where, like, I was looking at it the night that I knew I had to watch Interstellar after work. I was like, God, I can't believe I still have to watch this movie after work. So my plan was to like
don't watch it tired. That's for sure.
So my plan was to watch half of it, like split it up. You know what I mean? But to Interstellar's credit, I watched the whole damn thing because it got me in. Yeah. But I was emotionally exhausted afterwards.
Dude, it is.
Well, let's get into it.
Yeah, it's that time in the number 2 spot.
All right. Well, maybe the largest scale sci-fi movies in decades, Interstellar might as well be a spiritual successor to 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Yeah.
At its core, it's a movie about a father's love. On a larger scale, it's humanity's last-ditch effort to turn the tables. You'll pretend to understand the last act. It's Interstellar.
Yeah.
Interstellar, released in 2014, as previously discussed, has an 8.6 out of 10 on IMDb.
That's too low.
72% on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's too low.
Feels about right for me.
Man.
169 minutes for the runtime. Made on a budget of $165 million. Opening weekend of $47,510,360 with a worldwide gross, including corn sale profits.
What?
Fun fact. $701,729,206. Christopher Nolan, they planted all that corn for the movie.
Yeah.
Whatever they didn't ruin shooting it, he harvested it, sold it for a profit.
Smart guy.
Smart man.
Made that sweet
I'll
corn
bet that
money.
corn farmers were stoked. They're just like, oh yeah, we're going to be the
Hell yeah, finally somebody makes a movie about me and my family.
You know that scene where McConaughey's driving through the corn?
Yeah.
Oh, following the...
Yeah, well, they didn't actually
drone.
film it that way. Like, he didn't actually drive, you know what I mean? He had like a fake... like he had reaction shots while a stunt driver did it. But he said that like after they finished shooting...
Because Matthew McConaughey drives a Lincoln.
That's true too.
Doesn't drive a
He's
Ford.
a Lincoln man.
Yeah.
After they finished shooting that unit or whatever, they were like, okay, we're done with the cornfield for sure. We're not coming back to the set. Like, he just got in a truck in the middle of the night and just tore it up through the cornfield. He was like telling Nolan, like in an interview, like, hey, so I never told you this, but after I was sure we didn't need the set, I decided just to hit it, and man, that's fun.
What do you think he was playing? If you were driving through a cornfield, just wrecking it, what would your song? All right. Nobody else needs to answer. David won.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow.
Just going like 100 miles an hour, having no idea what's coming up. No visibility. That's crazy.
Damn. Imagine that's how McConaughey died. Like,
wow.
Just crashed that truck in a
Overnight.
cornfield.
Yeah.
Can I hit you guys with a fact?
Yeah.
Sure.
And if you don't know this fact,
Banished?
it's going to mess with your head
All right.
for the rest of this discussion.
Okay.
There is not a single use of green screen in the entire film.
That's incredible.
None.
So, did they go to space?
Miniatures, man.
Miniatures, like Star Wars.
They filmed this thing like old school
and Space
sci-fi.
Odyssey. Yeah.
So it's just
Star
like
Trek.
the black backing is like soundstage,
Just a
or they
black
did
space?
digitally
Just-
afterwards.
There's some digital,
I mean, they had to have had some
there's
stuff
some
digital.
touch-ups, but even the end when he's like floating in that 5-dimensional, they built that set, dude. And
That's
then
incredible.
They added like CGI backdrop. And he said there's some of the scenes they filmed in zero gravity.
Dude,
Yeah.
imagine if they would have had that technology that they used on Mandalorian when they were filming this. Like,
Wow.
that would have been pretty
You can
nuts.
even see like the backdrop on the water planet. You know what I mean? Where it's like, this is where the water ends, and that's the backdrop, which is an actual physical
Those aren't
backdrop.
mountains.
You know what I mean?
Those are waves.
That part, God, man, it's amazing. And then the hopelessness you feel when you realize that Michael Caine was just doing the last ditch effort. He was lying.
Yeah. Yeah, that is pretty messed up. That's the Prestige right there.
That is the Prestige right there. He's like, actually, I solved this like 30 years ago. You guys are just effed.
Yeah,
we're all effed.
We're just out of luck, man. Let me see here. Oh, I don't know if you guys made this connection, but especially the beginning of this movie, so many similarities to Signs.
Yes. Thank you.
We got the single dad. We have the other male figure serving as co-parent.
Corn.
We have the true believer daughter. And then we have the father who's like turned his back on his career and is like convinced to live this new, this new set until
he just
confronted.
needed like a brother-in-law who was helping him out instead of playing in the big leagues, getting his toes licked by beautiful women.
He's also got the strikeout record. What a great movie.
I mean,
Signs is
number
dope.
one
Number one
Shyamalan
movie.
Signs. Let's go back. Let's edit it.
I think another cool part of this was that it gave us, without giving a heavy exposition dump of where the Earth is at when the movie starts, it like gives you little bits at a time.
Yeah.
Oh, we don't have engineers anymore. We really need farmers. Like your son is getting programmed to go be a farmer.
Yeah, it's almost like a believable version of Don't Look Up.
Yeah.
It's almost like a really well-written version of that movie.
Oh, I like that movie too.
Yeah, same. I enjoyed it.
Speaking of which, though, did you guys notice Baby Chalamet in here? Timothy Chalamet?
I didn't even remember that
He's
he was
the
in
young
this.
son.
Yeah, Tom, and Casey Affleck too.
Yeah,
weird.
Huh.
He's Casey Affleck.
That's, I think I didn't recognize him because he wasn't full broody. He was a little bit like...
And his muscles hadn't come in yet.
Yeah, he didn't even have the new muscles yet. That's probably what
He
was throwing me
actually
off.
looked like he had more muscles then than he did he doesn't now.
I think he plays a 15-year-old, and he's actually 19 in the movie. Like when he recorded the spot,
crazy,
like 18, 19. So,
and I
young.
definitely recognized Casey Affleck, and I was like, "Oh, cool! He's gonna give us a believable but not like anything special performance. It should be fun.
He's gonna be serviceable.
Yeah,
How
he'll
great.
be fine."
Dude, there's so many choke up moments in this movie, and it's like the first one is when he's just like, "Come on, Merv, don't make me leave like this," you know what I mean? Which is just like, if you're gonna go, just go. Mm-hmm. And he's like crying as he's driving away and stuff, and she runs out the door, and you're just like, God, okay, it's starting. And then
they hit the Scrubs music. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na.
My earliest emotional moment for me was when they first come into the house, because I'd totally forgotten John Lithgow was the grandpa, and I was like, "Oh my god, I love John Lithgow." I get so excited every time I get to see John Lithgow.
Trinity. Yeah.
Again, Nolan with hitting you right in the face. One of the daughter's first lines in the movie was, "I thought you were the ghost."
Yeah,
like when he walks in the room and surprises her.
Yep.
It's like, he is the ghost.
Mm-hmm.
It is him.
And it's cool. They just don't like bring too much attention to that. Oh, there's books falling off. There's some kind of pattern here. It's just.
Sorry, I finger pointed too hard. Here's my problems with Interstellar.
Okay, hit us with it, David. Shots fired.
Okay, first off, there's this line of dialogue about like Matthew McConaughey's like, well, there's no more guns because there's no more militaries, so now we're putting all our effort into this. Like, whoa. You're telling me the world's running out of resources and we're not just killing people and taking all their
nations?
That's why
aren't
we don't
killing
have
each
any
other
resources.
Yeah. You're telling me that like China or Russia wouldn't just be like, all right, let's invade America.
Yeah.
Like,
you're telling me resources get scarce and you're like, all right, guys, we all have to work
world
together
peace.
now. No way.
Yeah.
One, like at least two of the major superpowers gone, wiped off the earth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Nuclear
That's the way that
weapons.
really goes.
You know, to be fair, they didn't say anything about like world powers, but when they show like the robots like TARS and all that and stuff, you got to imagine that cyber warfare got to a point where, I mean, not even cyber warfare, but
just like death robots.
modern warfare. Yeah, like it was just robots fighting at some point, or drone fights. You know?
Which I mean, BattleBots, pretty dope show.
Pretty
Pretty
cool.
cool. Love BattleBots.
Yeah.
Robot design, pretty sweet.
Pretty sweet.
I like
creative. I like when someone does something new.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was cool that it was minimal.
It's the
but
monolith,
it was also
dude.
like, you get the every kind of utility you could ever want from it.
Yeah.
and the humor Tars is amazing.
Yeah, really funny.
All of them though, they all have their own, like Tars, Case, Kip, I think.
Tars talks enough for the both of us.
Yeah, I love that.
That is hilarious.
And at the end, he's just like, "What's your trust setting?" I love that, dude.
My other big thing though, and I, not a huge thing, but it's one of those situations where it's like, I hate scientists acting unscientific.
I know.
But so Anne Hathaway, Matthew McConaughey, and I'm sorry, I don't know the other crew member's name. They're trying to decide.
Edmonds or no.
No, Edmonds is her love who ended up being dead.
Coleman? I don't know, something like that.
I don't know. Well,
Beardman.
The three of them, Beardman, the three of them are on the ship. They're trying to decide what planet they're going down to. And they're deciding to go to Watery Planet, which, is going to be a disaster.
Right.
And they know how much time it's going to take to fly down, check it out. But they're like, hey, we just received a thing from her. But it's not until they get there and realize that it's like not going well
that
Anne Hathaway's like, oh well, duh, like
time.
It's only been 4 minutes on this planet.
She probably died like 5 minutes ago. Yeah,
it's like, dog, you didn't think about that on the ship?
Yeah,
like you didn't think, hey, actually, let's not go here. Let's go to one of these other ones that we know for sure. Like if we'd gone to Edmonds first, which to be fair, they didn't listen to her.
Right.
After the first one, but that first miscalculation is so egregious.
Yeah,
when it's like y'all lost 20 something years or whatever. This tricky maneuver is going to cost us 50 years. Like there's a lot of good memes in this movie. But that really bugs me, man.
But also unscientific is you're telling me that you can tell that there's a wormhole right next to Saturn from Earth, but you can't tell that there's no dry land on this planet. And that you couldn't like run a sonar when you got on the planet to like tell how deep it was? Aren't you weirded out that like you landed on a 2-foot shallow part of the planet and there's like these weird waves? Can't you see these waves?
Can't you see the waves while you're flying in?
It also made me nervous just that she was walking around willy-nilly because in the ocean there's just like underwater canyons and stuff.
Yeah.
The first time I watched it, I was waiting for her. I was like, oh, she's just going to disappear.
Some like sea snake to grab her.
Aliens, anything? Yeah.
Some kind of sea graboid.
You juiced him?
Now we're talking.
Tremors 8.
Now I'm all in.
Neptune.
But it does introduce that cool thing about time and relativity.
Yeah.
And that is very original as far as sci-fi movies go. Like you got to think, I mean, it's an experimental part of scientific thinking now that like Nolan was consulting with people about. And it's something that I would imagine blew like the average moviegoer's brain. Like,
how far we've come from Marty McFly's mom trying to bang him.
Yeah, right. I mean, we all know about, theory of relativity, at least on a basic level, just from being
the most basic,
just semi-educated. So in this movie, when they're, giving you the science information, you're like, okay, I'm kind of an idiot.
Okay, I'm not Neil deGrasse Tyson. That sounds right to me.
Okay, sure. Oh, wow, that's crazy. That's how this works. Whoa. And then in Tenet, you're like, shut up, dude.
Yeah.
Shut up, nerd.
None of this is science.
That's exactly how I felt most of Tenet. Like, get out of here.
Get out of here.
It's weird that, like, Inception feels more scientific than Tenet.
Yeah, dude. Inception and all its pseudoscience nonsense.
And there's no science about dreams. No. You know what I mean? Hardly.
Well, there's some, but
maybe.
But they're not using any of their science in the
wasn't
movie.
in it.
They're not hitting that.
But I like the interwoven like concepts about science and concepts about relativity that he put into the sci-fi, into the unexplainable in here.
And then in the third act, we get hard 2001 Space Odyssey.
I'm going in the black hole, man.
Yeah, we're going full shroom trip here. All right, here we go.
Which is
into the void.
The sci-fi part of it, because it's just like, come on, man. If that thing can swallow a whole planet, it's not going to let you be in your spacesuit.
Yeah, but what's this? What are these beings? What are these like time traveling beings? No, I mean like
humans.
It's humans.
Oh, that's true. From the future.
Yeah, it's humans from the future.
But also from the past, running concurrently in two separate directions.
Yeah. Time is a flat circle.
Yeah. See, that's how they should explain time.
But I don't remember in 2001. Is that also the thing? There's not really aliens in 2001, right? Or it is aliens. Is it humans from the future?
I think it is aliens. I don't think it's necessarily explained, but it's an invitation for humans to gain that
I could have sworn
knowledge.
in 2001 they were Saudi nationals. Am I wrong about that?
Hitting that hard.
No? Am I misremembering things?
No, they're from Afghanistan. And they were Iraqi.
Sorry, I forgot. Yeah. Thank you for reminding me.
That's what they taught us, at least.
Yeah.
Interstellar. Oh, what a great note.
International. I'm just kidding.
Anything else about...
Oh, dude. I mean, can we talk about...
Oh, yeah, of course.
That other scene where, like, they realize they've been gone 27 years. They get back on the ship, and they get the 20... McConaughey sits down to see 27 years of his child's lives in front of him. And, like, you get the first... real McConaughey cry scene, and you're just like, oh my god,
you're like meme.
Yeah, meme. But I feel like the heaviest emotional part is the end. Oh, the end.
Yeah,
where
man.
he meets about to die Murph.
Dude,
I was just like, oh my god,
I can't take it.
For me, the emotions were stronger in the scene right before that, when he's in like the fifth dimension,
bookshelf thing,
and he's screaming at himself like, "No, don't go!
Just
like, stay, you idiot!" Like
Yeah.
that's what gets me the hardest.
But he had to go in order for them to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's complicated.
The
It's
future
complicated.
humans created that three-dimensional universe as a representation
of the fifth
dimension thinking.
Jesus.
Cool. That's cool.
Cool, man. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
That's how I feel
could buy
about
that.
That's how I feel about most math.
When they, you know, it's funny.
A squared plus B, sure.
All right, yeah, sure,
I'll take it.
yeah.
That's how
When they-
triangles work.
When they revealed that it's humans from the future, I was like, that's okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, you bought me.
You get a bit of a chicken and egg kind of thing. Though.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Oh, whoa! They're from the society from the end of Bill and Ted's. You know.
Dang. God. Someone needs to watch Bill and Ted. Hans Zimmer, I was talking
Kills
trash about
it in
him
this
earlier.
movie.
This is like one of his few themes that you could be like, oh yeah, that's the theme from Inception.
Dude. And it's so minimal.
So
This
many.
is very, like, even more minimal than Philip Glass. This is like,
Yeah.
it just builds over time. and
Definitely more minimal than.
better than that.
Yeah, much better.
For reals.
It's
I can't take that
another Nolan movie that ends on a good note. On a hope. There's
other
hope
than,
in it.
Other than watching your young child die as a 90-year-old woman.
He didn't watch. He
That's
left.
true. He left.
Yeah, that's right. He had to, yeah.
Sad for the character, but happy for the universe.
Yeah.
Yeah, humanity
Similar
goes on.
to Dunkirk.
It was like mission accomplished.
I
guess we couldn't pull off plan A, but apparently there was no plan A. I got closer to A than B. Like, right?
Sure.
It's crazy. There's another like parallel with 2001 in that, like, not David from 2001, but the other guy that's on there. I can't remember. Is it Harry something? I think.
Yeah, Harry Styles.
Yeah, Harry Styles. Let's say Harry Styles. You know how he just drifts off into space.
Yeah.
Right? Well, later on in the novels, like, he is discovered and he was frozen in space, and he, like, they unfreeze him and stuff.
Whoa.
And, like, he's the same age as when he was, and it's like 1,000 years in the future. So it's kind of like the parallel of Matthew McConaughey's character
That's
in there
dope.
too.
Are you sure you weren't just misreading it and it was like his force ghost?
Are you sure you're not thinking of that episode of Futurama where Bender grows at society while he's floating through space?
I forgot about that.
That's a great episode.
Which ends a nuclear holocaust.
Yeah.
No.
It tickles.
Oh, man. Futurama ranking.
That's the best when the little kid's just like, look, I'm hugging God. Maybe he'll save us as they like explode. Oh, it's the greatest.
I'm glad your impression of Interstellar changed from watching it, and I'm glad you agreed about it. It's just a good movie, man.
Love Interstellar.
Really good movie. A very long movie.
As soon as I finished watching it, I was like, well, this is for sure number 2.
Yeah.
Speaking of very long, we should probably skedaddle over to the number 1 spot.
Yeah,
here,
we need to.
'cause we're getting in it.
Wrap it up.
Yeah.
Okay, here we are. We're at the end of our list here. The movie that launched a million Halloween costumes. It's Batman v Joker, Dawn of Chaos. Can Batman and Dent stop the crazed clown? Will Gotham succumb to fear? Wait, isn't that the first movie? Will audiences notice that Katie Holmes has been recast? It's The Dark Knight.
Most definitely they will notice. Yeah.
I love me some Aaron Eckhart, bro.
It's like,
I
why?
tell you what.
all of a sudden, why do I feel like this lady's gonna ask me how do I actually a I mean, I have to do some editing work there. Bleep, bleep, bleep. Yeah. The Dark Knight released in 2008. 9 out of 10 on IMDb. Sorry, I forgot how numbers worked for a second there. 94% on Rotten Tomatoes. 152-minute runtime. Just put a disclaimer out there really quick. I know it seems like I'm inebriated or something, but I just slammed like an Americano right before we started. Like stone sober, just...
What, something's going on in your brain.
I just suck at talking. Yeah. And all week, my brain has just felt foggy, man. I don't know what it is.
And it's weird because you're usually intoxicated every episode.
Yeah.
So this is like the first time you're not.
Usually I slam heroin straight into my veins right before we start recording.
That's what's happening.
That's the part we cut right out at the beginning. Like,
I don't even know why we filmed it.
Yeah.
I don't even know why we filmed it.
It's probably a bad idea.
Yeah.
It's going to ruin my mayoral run one day.
And I've been posting them all on a separate channel.
Shit. 9 out of 10 on IMDb. We did rankings a minute. Budget of $185 million. Opening weekend of $158,411,483,000 with a worldwide gross of $1,005,973,645.
Woo!
Full hit billion twice.
That's a lot of winglings, dude.
Can I start this off with a quick tale?
Hit it.
If you have been listening to the podcast in sequential order, then 3 episodes ago, you listened to a flashback episode of us talking about best and worst movie sequels.
Oh, now we're knowing the timelines.
Dang. And in that episode, I named Dark Knight as the second best movie sequel of all time. And in it, I state that the masks at the beginning of Dark Knight are a reference to The Killing by Stanley Kubrick. To which Brandon, off camera, says, no, they're not. They're from this Batman thing. And he pulls up this nerdy Batman stuff, obviously, as Brandon does.
Was Brandon wrong?
We were both right.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Because the comic is borrowing from the
comic is in reference, or it's not even the comic, it's the 1960s Adam West show.
Yeah.
In which the Joker wears the mask that the Joker in Dark Knight wears at the beginning in the bank heist scene. But Nolan has said that some of the other clown masks are inspired by The Killing because Kubrick's his favorite director.
Which is a fantastic film.
So when I learned this in my little research this week, I was like, I have to bring this up. This is the craziest thing ever. Because in that episode, I was like,
fact, David.
I was like, Brandon, shut up. But
you're going into UMR lore.
Yeah, we really are in the UMR CU. It's kind of crazy, man. It's kind of crazy, but yeah, both inspirations there.
Crazy.
And can we just, what a killer opening scene again?
I mean,
another James Bond style cold open.
Oh yeah,
I can't lie. Like at the end of that sequence, after he drives away on the bus, I rewound it to the beginning and watched that sequence all over again because I was like, hold on, I gotta see that one more time. It's too dope.
I watched. I think, and I said this earlier, I started with the Batman trilogy. So the first one I watched was Batman Begins, and I hit Dark Knight, and you can instantly see the difference. And at first I was like, man, what happened that Christopher Nolan's cinematography is on a whole nother level in this movie? And what it is that he started shooting with the IMAX camera, and it just looks incredible. Like, you can't, I mean, just go watch the beginning of Batman Begins and watch the beginning of Dark Knight side by side, and you're gonna be like, "What is going on?"
It like expands the color palettes too. Like you're able to see more in the darker setting. You know what I mean?
It's so detailed, man, and it's got such scope. Yeah. Like it's huge. It's just an epic looking movie, man.
And the dialogue is infamous. I mean, the dialogue's infamous in this movie.
It's insane. We get a huge director trademark thing that Nolan loves, changing the aspect ratio of the movie, and he does it a ton in this movie. He likes to close it in on the action scenes, really like bring you into it. And he does it more and more often as the movie goes, and he also gets more frenetic with the camera work too. It's really crazy. And Nolan's also like a guy who doesn't let his director of photography just take it and then he watches the cuts at the end of the day. He literally is behind the camera. He's not the one operating it, but he's behind the camera watching it in real time for every single take. Like, he's a very hands-on guy. And shoot, this movie looks so good.
I mean,
it looks great.
This movie is so good. I mean, the cast, next level. You got Gary Oldman again. You got Aaron Eckhart. You got, well, sadly, Maggie Gyllenhaal. And
let's calm down. She kills it.
Yeah, she does. She does. She's way better than Katie Holmes. I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
Credit due where
I'll tell you what.
Heath Ledger.
Heath. I mean,
Heath.
And Heath Ledger's brother.
What?
Yeah, he's like the stand-in for the scenes that Heath Ledger
that's
was like
right.
dead
Didn't
for.
you know that?
Yikes.
I mean, this performance.
I mean, it's
of his career. This is
posthumous Oscar.
This is what he's known for.
One of like the only Oscar-winning comic book movies ever. You know what I mean? It's
true.
Kind of insane. Also, if you're a younger listener and maybe you don't know this, if you weren't around for it, but the amount of hate when Heath Ledger was cast as the Joker was insane.
It's like when they said Ben Affleck was going to be Batman.
Oh,
Or
yeah.
when they
I think
said-
even worse, though, because there was also like a bit of homophobia because he was like Justin Brokeback Mountain.
Oh, yeah.
It's like Heath Ledger wasn't gay, but everyone at the time was like, oh, this gay guy.
They're going to let the gay cowboy be Joker?
It would be like if the Batman with Robert Pattinson came out the summer after Twilight.
Oh, yeah.
It would have been something like that. It would have been like, what?
Yeah, that would be pretty funny to watch the nerds lose their head
Right?
over.
Whereas Robert Pattinson, it's like, if you're still calling him the guy from Twilight, you have missed a lot of really good movies.
Yeah.
Like a lot of really, really good movies since then.
The Lighthouse.
Yeah.
If I'm not wrong, this is where Heath Ledger was doing a lot of not only drugs, but method acting, right?
Well, isn't that the same thing? Yeah, it is.
Yeah, there's like he would like
Notorious
tortured
stuff, right?
Like he's part of the reason that Jared Leto took it way too far because Jared Leto didn't have like the tact or like he was stealing it from Heath Ledger
Or
you know what I mean?
originality.
Yeah.
But he was like kind of terrorizing his like castmates and crewmates and stuff.
Yeah. And all for a crappy performance.
Yeah.
What a bummer. Although I haven't seen the movie, but I'm just...
You also have like one of the most awesome happy mistakes ever to happen on film here that's like notable when like the hospital scene.
Oh, when the thing doesn't blow up.
He's just
Yeah.
stays in character,
Stays in
loses it a little
character.
bit.
Yeah.
But then it happens.
It's exactly why you don't yell cut. You know what I mean? You just
Yeah.
let it roll.
It's like that podcast.
How were they going to do it again? This was a one-time thing.
Oh,
Like,
for
it
sure.
had to
They
be that,
blew up
right?
that would have cost a lot of money if they had to do that again, man. The only one I like more than that is Leo smashing the wine glass in
yeah.
Django and then putting his
Going for it.
blood all
Yeah.
over Kerry Washington.
Doesn't
What's her name? I'm missing her name. Smearing blood all over her face, and you know Leo's got the STDs.
and he doesn't even flinch.
doesn't.
He didn't even like change character for a second. You see, he's just like
Actor. Actor.
Shame on you, Academy. Shame on you.
Thespian.
This man's house should be lined with trophies and accolades.
You also get the pencil murder from the Joker.
Oh yeah, that one's great. Bam.
John Wickton
Oh, it's true.
with a pencil.
Oh man. So what's your guys' favorite scene of The Dark Knight?
Dude, there's
boat
so many
scene? I
iconic
mean,
scenes. Man.
That's funny. The boat scene's instantly where I went to.
Dude, the boat scene is
Where Debo's like, I'll do it. I'll push the button.
where you just see humanity at its lowest, but also at its highest when they're working together. But they're also working together to like kill people who
Yeah.
are on death row. Well,
What are you saying?
they're already
Christopher
on
Nolan?
death row. Yeah,
They chose their life.
yeah.
I really like the scene where they have the Joker incarcerated. They have that one detective watching him, and the Joker's just like baiting him.
Oh, yeah.
Because it just shows like how in control, like nothing's happening that the Joker doesn't want to happen.
Yes.
And then it caps off with that cool shot they have of like the camera mounted to the front of the police car with Heath Ledger just like leaning out as they're like weaving through the city. I love that. That hits
Amazing.
me
There's
so
just
hard.
chaos going on
Yeah,
behind them.
dude.
That's amazing.
It's
man.
a bit of a goofy scene, but one I really like is when that guy who's gonna reveal who Batman is,
Yeah.
and then Bruce Wayne knows that truck's about to run in and kill him, so he's like driving his sports car and just cuts into it, and then Commissioner Gordon's like, "Wow, you're a hero." He's like, "What are you talking? I was trying to run a red light." And he's like, "You don't watch the news much, do you?"
Do you think I should go to the hospital? He
Yeah,
plays it
that's
so
right.
well. Yeah.
It's just great because Christian Bale masters both sides of the role so much.
Dude, when
Where-
he kicks everybody out of his house.
Oh yeah, man.
God, that's so good.
He's such a good snooty Patrick Bateman Bruce Wayne, but then he nails Batman too. Like, man, what a range that guy has. It's one of those things where like for certain superhero roles, it's hard to nail them both.
Well, maybe his twin is doing the Bruce Wayne stuff.
Whoa.
And then he's doing the Batman stuff.
Yeah. Today I love you.
Did you guys know that in 2020, the film was selected for preservation in the United States National Film Registry by the Library of Congress?
Whoa, it's in there with Ghostbusters? Just kicking it?
Oh, man. For being culturally, historically, and aesthetically significant, becoming the second superhero film after 1978's Superman to earn the honor.
Whoa.
So we actually have a decent collection of movies we've discussed on the channel in the Library of Congress. It's kind of crazy.
Do they have After Earth, though?
No.
Well, they're missing out.
Losers.
You're one of the few people who technically have After Earth in their collection.
Well, not anymore. The case is up there. Yeah. The disc is destroyed.
No. That's a rival, guys.
Yeah, that's clearly a rival.
Me, yeah. I'm an idiot.
Yeah, I got one last thing to say, and it's that, Batman's got that rule sometimes, depending on the universe, about not killing people. And throughout the Nolan trilogy, doesn't kill people, although questionable sometimes. Like, dang, dude, you blew up that car.
That guy definitely died. Yeah.
Then, technicality with Ra's al Ghul, but I don't have to save you. Inaction is as responsible as the actual action. You know what I mean?
Yeah. In the final scenes of this movie, though, when he's fighting the Joker, we learn that Batman will kill a dog, though. He'll straight up drop a dog.
Batman, cat person.
Clearly.
He loves the cats.
Yeah.
Dog's over it. He'll kill a dog.
What more do you have to say? This is the best Nolan film.
Yeah.
Apparently so.
You heard it here. Officially ranked.
As ranked.
Wow. That was a lot, guys.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Though every movie was a pleasurable watch.
I took no pleasure in watching Tenet. I gotta say, looking back on it.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
There wasn't a moment. Yeah, there wasn't a
I
moment.
rubbed that from my memory away.
In my memory that I was like, yeah.
Nah.
I didn't like Tenet. I enjoyed everything else, although Memento did start to weigh on me a little bit. But I was like, you know what, though? I like what's happening. Yeah. I'm going to power through it.
Memento's But it wasn't like watching the Shyamalan movie ranking where you're just like flat out, there are movies that are unwatchable.
Yeah.
Higher lows than Shyamalan for sure.
If anything, this one was more like I could see the line graph of where Nolan was just getting more and more full of himself.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And more like
Dark Knight, and then it's just
slow down, bro.
It's like when everyone tells you you're the best. It's a Tarantinoism, you know what I mean?
Yeah, except Tarantino keeps knocking out
best.
the bangers.
Except he is the best.
The Dark Knight came out. People were like, this is one of the most amazing movies I've ever seen. Christopher Nolan's one of the best directors ever. And Christopher Nolan was like, this isn't even my final form, you fool.
Wow, a Dragon Ball reference
from
Frank.
Frank.
I thought you guys would appreciate that.
What a beautiful note to end on.
I love that.
Well, Frank, it's time for...
Oh, that's interesting. Today, I have a story for you. So, there are these 3 Jamaican sprinters. Super Mario's Charlie Day is already recording Luigi's lines, but still hasn't seen a script. Charlie Day says he's been hard at work voicing Luigi in Super Mario Bros. In the Super Mario Bros. Movie, despite not knowing the film's full story and scope. Charlie Day, who is set to voice Luigi in Super Mario Bros., said the movie script is being kept tightly under wraps, even from the actors.
Yeah, we can't let those twists and turns be revealed.
Yeah, goodness, what would happen? While a guest on Jimmy Kimmel Live, Day was asked about working on the anticipated adaptation. I was just recording that this morning, he said, and I'd love to tell you all about it, but they are top secret with this stuff. When asked if he'd read the full script, Day answered, I know nothing. I show up and they're like, you say this and you say that, and it's all very funny and good, and then I walk out and there's like 2 guys in overalls with hammers that are like, don't tell anybody nothing about this, Charlie. I swear to God, we're gonna get your kneecaps. We're gonna break your neck. Day also joked that his co-star Chris Pratt, who voices Mario, is probably in the know.
Cool. Sorry.
Yeah, he's the coolest. But they don't tell Luigi anything, which makes sense. When asked if he records his lines at the same time as Pratt, Day answered, we do not. We go in one at a time, Maybe they don't trust me around Pratt. Kimmy then joked that the whole job may be a trick being played on Day. I don't know if I'm really in the movie, you know what I mean? Day answered, and I feel that way about every movie. It's about when I get 5 weeks in, actually. It's when it wraps and it's going to theater that I'm like, I'm in the movie. They didn't cut me out. Last November, game director Shigeru Miyamoto, who is serving as producer on Super Mario Bros., said the film is nearly finished. The Super Mario film is pretty much done, he revealed on social media.
Wow.
Working on the last bit.
Weird.
Have a very good feeling about it, but we are very careful not to betray customers and meet expectations. Hopefully they don't meet my expectations because they're pretty low.
Is Miyamoto-san like lying to everyone? Is that what's going on?
Could be.
Well, he can't say, wow, this is really going to suck.
You know?
Like,
I've been looking at everything we've shot so far and
you guys got to
looking like a big old pile.
The bar is kind of low, though. You got Super Mario Bros, but
is the bar?
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
But can they even do it bad enough to where it lasts for generations?
Like a cult,
the rewatch
cult
value,
classic,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
You know, let's do something unprecedented here. Let's give a audience tomato score prediction. Not critic, but audience.
Okay.
I'm gonna.
It's a kids movie, right?
It's a kids movie, but kids don't write reviews on the internet, right? I'm gonna go 56%.
I'm gonna say 76%.
64.
Wow.
We're in nice little tiers here.
Nice little spread here. Okay, we'll see who's right. And then someone will have to go back and listen to the episode.
Yeah.
And, that's
76.
That's going to be a lot of work.
69, dude.
That was the right answer. I don't know, man. I just don't know if this is even... what does this even mean? Isn't this how all these movies are made now anyway?
Yeah, it's sad to think about, like, that for the most part, there are some like filmmakers who do realize it's a terrible idea, so they will have voice actors in the booth together so that you can like bounce off of each other, you know what I mean? But it's got to be hard to like try to act your best when you're reacting to nothing, let alone like people have to get used to like green screens or talking to like a tennis ball. But like they're just feeding you lines and you're just trying to deliver. That seems crazy.
I still don't know what I think about Mario and Luigi just having dialogue.
Yeah.
Gonna be
It's
weird.
just so weird.
Gonna be kind of racist.
Wahoo. Like, that's all you got.
It's a me.
It's a me.
Let's go.
He never says more than 3 words in a row. How are you going to make a movie out of that? No, it's a me, Mario. But it's a me could be all one word. Who even knows how? It's a is definitely one word.
I think it's a me you hyphenate.
It's a me.
I would
Mario.
at least.
We'll see how it pans out.
I don't think it's going to be better than live action Mario Bros.
I think it'll be competing hard with that Sonic movie.
Interesting. And then we'll get the Smash Bros. universe going.
Detective Pikachu.
Yeah, throw in Detective Pikachu.
Number 2.
And then we'll have Gary Oldman playing Kirby.
Wow, I didn't even recognize him.
Wow.
He's so versatile.
Guy Pearce's Donkey Kong. Is that Guy Pearce? Is that Guy Pearce? Is he in a monkey costume right now?
Ridiculous.
Wow, Frank, that is interesting.
Yeah.
Well, guys, here we are finally at the end of this non-linear road. It's time for Peeps Les Predicts.
Yes.
The only hypothetical debates were very real.
You did it too.
I did it. You got me. The only...
It's too catchy,
dude,
man.
he went deep into your subconscious
He
and planted
that idea.
Lost in limbo.
It's our debate segment where we put real or fictional people or groups of people in hypothetical situations and we argue about it. And Frank, who's our people for today?
Now, this was definitely from one of you weebs. We've got Toby, who I'm assuming is the demon?
Yeah, the demon from Paranormal Activity.
Right? Versus, now I'm going to give this my best shot, Yosuke Urashishi.
Yusuke Urameshi.
Yusuke Urameshi?
But you have to say it like this.
Urameshi.
Yusuke Urameshi is going against his biggest matchup ever. Toby.
Toby's a demon,
Yeah.
and Yusuke is a spirit detective.
Who is actively looking for demons to send them back to the demon world.
Yeah.
Okay, cool, interesting.
Uses
I'm glad you
his-
guys explained that.
Uses his finger as a spirit gun.
Bang. He concentrates his spirit
cool.
energy into his
It gets
fingertip.
cooler.
Now, this is going to be very early 2000s of me, and I might get canceled for this, but sounds kind of gay.
Whoa.
Hey, this is from the 80s, okay? All right. The predicament is, who is more likely to wear a khaki tuxedo?
Okay, hang on. Before we...
obviously, you're a meshy, dude.
Here we go. Get ready. Okay, that's enough of that. Before we get flagged. Oh, wow. This 3.5 hour long podcast, we can't post it anywhere.
We'll have to cut that part out.
Okay, so anyway,
We'll just pitch correct it.
I'll just say that Urameshi wears school uniforms, like a Japanese school uniform.
Yeah.
That kind of looks like a tuxedo. I could see him
How
wearing
old
khaki.
is Urameshi?
15,
16, typical anime protagonist age.
And then Toby assumedly like millions of billions
Asmodeus?
of years.
Yeah.
Now, who is more likely? Okay, so in the lore of the Uninformed Movie Reviews universe, the khaki tuxedo is the uniform of the child predator.
Yes.
And I'm just saying.
No, and Safari Explorers.
Yeah, against Safari Explorers. And also, in a weird caveat, Indiana Jones filling both roles.
Yes.
I'm just saying, out of the two, Toby is the child predator.
See, I see what you're saying, but I don't think demons wear clothes. I feel like if I were a demon, I'd be letting it hang out all the time.
Bro, are you telling me you're forgetting the end of Paranormal Activity 5 where Toby becomes man incarnate?
Yeah, but
man.
he is no longer like full demon, but
But he's still Toby.
he's still Toby. That's true.
And then what is that naked man fresh from Lilith's womb going to wear?
I guess a
But
khaki tuxedo.
man.
David, you swayed me. Partly, and I can't make any arguments because I have no idea about this other character at all.
I'm going to go ahead and agree with that. Yeah, it's more of a physical realm thing.
And now, peek behind the curtain. We paused for a pee break because we've been here for forever. You spent that time looking up that music, didn't you? Well, you couldn't have.
It's on my Spotify. No, I'm just
Okay.
joking. No, I typed it in real quick as soon as you were saying
that makes
quick,
sense. Yeah, because you
Urameshi.
wouldn't. It's not like you would have known. Yeah, who was next? Yeah. Okay. Good.
You're just begging to get flagged.
But, Yusuke's too sharp of a dresser. I know we've already settled, but I just want to hit
Does
it
he
again.
sharp dress?
Check out some Yusuke Urameshi
Well,
outfits.
I know they put him in posters and stuff, but it's
Let
not
me
like
see.
actually what he wears in the show,
Every
right?
once in a while, he changes up the outfit. When he's
Let me
first
do
going to the Dark
some
Tournament,
Googling.
he's doing some peak 90s fashion, man.
Oh yeah, I mean they got the puffy.
He's got
they got the rolled up
jacket.
blazers.
He's usually got the green Japanese school,
yeah, the school
attire.
outfit. Yeah,
I mean, just from top results, this guy looks pretty fly.
He's
Right?
fly, dude.
Yeah, this
He's
guy looks pretty dope.
I mean, he's the.
I could see him wear a khaki tuxedo though. Just saying, that is mighty 80s.
I guess that's true.
He could roll up the blazer. You know what I mean?
He would look sick, dude.
and he would
look
probably even hang it
dope.
over the back.
He looks like he's friends with Glenn Gulia.
of the Julia Gulias. I don't know, man.
Now I feel like I've swayed myself to Yusuke Urameshi.
I feel like he's more likely to wear a
Dude,
khaki
he might wear
tuxedo.
a khaki tuxedo and pull it off.
Yeah. We've only had this rule for one episode, but he's breaking the rule already on the khaki tuxedo.
Look, I'm gonna look up.
Plus, okay, furthering this argument, Toby is an expert child predator, and not in the traditional child
Bro,
predator
he's
sense.
almost wearing a khaki tuxedo right here.
But this guy's been doing this demon has been doing it for millennia, and the expert hunter isn't going to outwardly look like a predator.
True.
His whole thing
True.
is lulling you in with a false sense of security.
Darn.
I think this might be a win/loss for Urameshi.
Look at these stylish guys. Come on.
Yeah.
That's almost a khaki tuxedo.
Wow. Okay, I don't think they ever wear that in the anime, but they should.
No, but in all the posters,
should've.
like, yeah, in all these like designer posters, they have like the super 80s like fashioner. Yeah, fashionista ones.
So 1 point for Yusuke Urameshi.
Nice job.
All right, what do we
Good
got next?
pronunciation.
Next predict.
Our predict. Who's most likely to reach 500,000 gold in their first year in Stardew Valley?
First off, love this. I think it's worthy of a.
You're a Meshi.
Man.
You think that Toby farms or knows how?
And Yusuke plays video games.
Yeah, he plays video games.
There's this whole subplot when the city's getting taken over by demons. I don't know if you got this far in the anime. It's like one of the last
Maybe.
arcs.
It's been a long time.
The city's being invaded by lower level demons, and this one demon like recruits a bunch of humans and kind of entices them as demons do. And one of them is a kid who plays video games. And he gives them powers, and this kid's power is to be able to like manipulate the universe around him. So then,
does he use like a weird glove to do it?
A power glove, you might say. But Yusuke and the gang have to go through his trial, and the trial is a video game. And Yusuke's like, "Bro, I got this." So,
do they have Stardew Valley for Xbox?
yes.
Yeah, it's on everything. I think.
Dog, it's on everything. It's on Tesla.
We do know that Toby has a sponsorship deal with Microsoft.
Wow, he knows how to work that Kinect.
Yeah.
Darn.
He at the very least knows how to work
But
Kinect.
let's look at Toby as a person. He makes people do things for him. Like, do you think he has any want to do something?
Well, I would say.
Ridiculous.
Oh, sorry. I'm carrying this gag too far.
I disagree. You're doing it to the perfect amount. I don't mean ridiculous as a slight. I mean in a positive manner for sure.
Let's be honest. Connect low-level video games.
Yeah, true.
Don't think you
Very
can play.
Low-level motion control video games.
Don't even think you could play Stardew Valley effectively if you ported it to Kinect.
You can't play anything effectively on Kinect. See, that's the tricky part. It's awful. It's because they spent all that money on that Paranormal Activity 4 product placement.
Yep.
I'm still with Urameshi.
Yeah.
He'd kill it.
I mean, unfortunately, for Frank, I'm always going to vote Urameshi.
I don't know how unfortunate that is for me.
Because this is going to turn into a Batman scenario as it's going on.
Oh, man.
Like, he's still got to beat the sweet man himself.
John Candy.
Oh, man. Say his name.
Candy.
Say his name.
John Candyman.
Well, I guess that kicks him on over then.
Yeah. Final
Yusuke?
round.
Yusuke versus John Candy.
A fight I would really never want to see.
Two beloved men from the 90s. Who comes out on top?
Their predicament is, who is more likely to completely fumble their prestige?
Ooh.
For those who don't know, the prestige is the third part of a magic trick in which you make the reveal.
What's the first one?
I can't even remember.
The setup?
The setup, right?
Yeah. The second one's the turn.
Yes.
Because it's hilarious because the turn in the movie, The Prestige, occurs while he's reading about the turn in the novel. I was like, man, Nolan, you're on another level right now. Man.
Going hardcore on this one.
Okay, so,
Argument for John Candy.
Yeah, I would say
is a
Let's open
comedic
up.
actor. He would not only fumble the prestige, but do it in a way where it had more entertainment value than had he nailed it.
Yeah.
Is that failing the Prestige, though, the reveal?
Well, what if it's planned? Yeah. To fumble it.
I'm trying to think of when John Candy fumbles. I just...
He doesn't really.
Like, he's the polka king of the Southwest.
I mean,
He
he embarrassed his entire team and country in the Olympics. You know what I mean?
Well, he does
That's
that,
true.
and then he also...
But then the Prestige, that's the turn. The Prestige is my Jamaican bobsled team.
Wait a second. He actively fumbles in planes, trains, and automobiles. And things go into bad situations, but then they go into big situations. Big good situations. Bigly good.
Big good.
So
good.
are those in turn his turns to prestiges?
See, that's confusing because in planes, trains, and automobiles, I feel like he would be not good at anything.
Yeah.
Of course, again, we're talking about John Candy, the actor.
Yes.
In which I feel like his execution is killer.
Right.
True.
He's a world famous comedian.
/ magician.
/ magician.
In this.
/ illusionist. But, Yusuke Urameshi, I mean, the thing about him is he wins the fight.
Yeah.
But he is also kind of an idiot.
He bumbles.
He's a bit of a bumbling idiot in the way that anime in the 90s always was.
He's the Goku.
He's the Goku. He's the Himura Kenshin.
But when he pulls it together, yeah.
When he pulls it together, he gets all serious for a second. That's
buff.
how all that anime is.
Yeah. He's all skinny until he has to get serious, and then he gets buff.
They get super buff.
Yeah. I would say John Candy.
John Candy for fumbling the Prestige.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, if you guys agree, I just think John Candy's execution's too good. He's not a fumbler.
Well, he's also not a magician.
He seals the deal.
I would say that the very little knowledge I have about Yusuke Urameshi, his demon detective job is closer to that of a magician than...
He does do some magic, quote unquote. It's supernatural, like energy stuff.
Yeah, but no, he's a wizard. He's a wizard.
He's not a magician.
See,
he's
a magician
wizard.
is more of a performance, and Yusuke
he's an entertainer.
is not a performer.
He's not a performer.
I mean, the Prestige and the magician act is more of a comedian punchline delivery. You know what I mean?
It's meant for theater.
Set up punchline.
Right.
Yeah, it's a problem that Batman had in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't have the delivery.
So people, when people go to what's the word I'm looking for? Similar careers to the career paths they're already in, a la Michael Jordan playing baseball, doesn't end up very well. So a lot of the time,
That's a great point.
That's a fumble.
Yeah,
That's a technical foul.
That's a technical foul.
it's a tough one.
Are playing two separate sports. Well, I mean, they're different. They're different.
Very different.
Sure. But I just can't imagine Yusuke giving any kind of presentation. The only thing he's good at is beating people with his fists.
Sure loves to beat people up.
He loves beating people up.
Real good at it.
He's like a hooligan in the story. He's like a gang member, a Japanese thug. You know what I mean? And the premise of the show is that he dies in the first 5 minutes because he
gets hit by a car. Right?
There's a little kid crossing the street, and he goes to save the kid, pushes it out of the way, gets hit by a car, and is killed. And everyone's like, this guy was a jerk. Everyone
Does he
hates
save
him.
the kid though?
He does save the kid, but then
Doesn't sound like a fumbler.
But then he turns it around. He becomes
Open the windows of heaven.
yeah, quite literally.
Yeah.
It becomes like the protector of Earthrealm, like Goku.
Yeah.
But if he had to go on stage and perform something,
I don't think so.
I don't think so, man. I think he'd fumble it hard. Whereas
In his khaki suit.
if I had to put my money on who's going to give a better stage performance of any kind,
John Candy.
John Candy.
He could reenact the Uncle Buck scene where he is fixing the washing machine on stage and kill it without the washing machine there.
I mean, I guess I would have to take your word for it.
Yeah, this is confusing. Frank's got
If you guys I feel like I would have to defer to you guys. I don't have enough details on the case to make a fair judgment.
I don't see Yusuke being necessarily incompetent. Totally.
Yeah, if it was important enough, he could pull something off.
Yeah. I could see John Candy fumbling something, but making something out of it. And he's also an entertainer.
But in that description, I feel like Yusuke would be the same way.
Dang it.
He'd fumble something, but he'd end up getting something out of it. That's just like anime. It's just like 90s anime. Would you expect
This would have been
Goku
so
to do
much
a magic
easier
trick?
if it was like
Dude, you
Tony
know what?
Romo.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I'm kind of on the Yusuke side now because he has no entertainment experience and he has no illusion experience.
He's a meathead.
He's more likely to fumble the Prestige.
Yusuke, you meathead.
Yeah. Yusuke, you're a meathead.
Dang. Yeah, I think it would be Yusuke. Dang.
That's a fire intro.
I love the little MIDI keyboard. I'm just going to go with Yusuke, man, because I think John Candy would nail it.
Well,
may he rest in peace.
I guess this is going to be an anime year, 2022.
Dang. He had such a good run.
It was 4 episodes. That's pretty good, though.
Was it 4 episodes?
It's one of the longest ones in a while.
It just seems like longer because we were on a break for a month.
Darn.
Yeah, just like Ross and Rachel. Oh, my God. What's coming up next on the show? Well, we don't know. We haven't scheduled it yet.
Yeah, you'll find out around the same time we do.
Yeah. We're gonna have to do it in the next couple of weeks, so please stick around. Oh, in March we got my birthday pick coming up, and honestly,
Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within.
No, it's gonna be Love and Pop, Hideaki Anno. I want to do it last year. This is the year to do it.
Okay.
So get ready for some Japanese movie you never heard of. It's on YouTube right now, so maybe check it out and be ready.
That way, when we reveal, you'll be like, "Oh, I know what they're talking about."
Yeah.
Danny, if somebody were getting ready to leave us some kind of review on Apple Podcasts, what sort of review should they leave?
A fat 4 to 5 stars.
Wow.
Oh, he's being a little bit more lenient these days.
Yeah.
Danny lenient in 2022.
Yeah, I'm my blood pressure's down. I'm not getting as crazy.
Oh, well, we don't have to worry about our teams in the playoffs anymore as part of it.
There you go. I'm going Bengals also on the record right now. The Super Bowl hasn't happened as of this recording. Rawr. Yeah? What do you take?
I requested the Super Bowl off, so I'll get to watch it, and I'll be watching it with my dad, so I won already. Like, nothing else matters.
Oh.
I can't remember the last time I got to see a Super Bowl with my dad.
That's the cutest thing since the end of Inception.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Interstellar.
I feel a little teary-eyed right now thinking about it. I can't wait. I'm very excited.
Who's the other
Could
team?
have been cooler
with the Cowboys
if it wasn't the Cowboys in the Super Bowl, but what are you going to do?
Well, it's not the 90s.
I was going to say, there's not real magic in the world.
Gotta bring him down like that.
I mean, I'm going to be watching the Super Bowl at like 12 a.m. because I'll be in Finland and I'll be watching it from my phone probably.
Be the only guy in Finland watching the Super Bowl.
Maybe.
Never know.
There'd be another couple of guys.
Expats or something, you know?
So who's the other team other than Bengals?
Rams and the Bengals.
The Rams and the Bengals.
I'll go Rams just for the fun of it. Maybe I'll put it on. Maybe I'll order a pizza. Nah, I probably won't.
You know, this is one of the
You might order a pizza.
I might order a pizza.
This is the one of the few Super Bowls I can remember in recent memory that there's not one person I really want to lose in this. And there's not one villain. There's no Tom Brady.
Yeah, at least the 49ers didn't make it. That's
at least the Niners didn't make it. And
Tom Brady's not in there. 49ers aren't there.
And I'm an Aaron Rodgers fan, but hey, I get it. Why people would say,
I hope
hey,
the
Rodgers
halftime commercials are fire.
Dude, you got Kendrick Lamar. You got Mary J. Blige.
I'll tune in for that.
Snoop Dogg, Dr. Dre.
Yeah, I was gonna say, isn't like Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg
and Eminem and someone else.
Skittles.
Skittles.
God damn it.
They'll probably make an appearance. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. Check us out on YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts, Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes. That was weird. Podbean. Give us 5 stars. Share us with your friends. It helps us out a lot. 22 is the year for us, the deuce. Let's get it out to the rest of your friends. Share your deuces.
Thanks, Danny. I almost forgot about the deuce. While we're in the deuce, I'm going to go ahead and just throw it out there. Check out Grace Peak on Spotify. I'm assuming you're on Apple Music as well.
I am.
Yeah. Go check it out.
Thanks.
Give it a listen.
Deuces.